it's conference, should we have the sound up? We can unmute or not? Okay.
Director of Personnel and Self-Insurance, and also claims.
All right, so it's on conference room, so it's already started then, right? Okay. All right. Thanks, Joe. Thank you. All right. All right. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. We're all set. Did you guys get your?
So are we on at this point?
We're all on.
Okay.
But I've got your. Here's your agenda. Agenda.
We got a couple items on this. So let's call the meeting to order. And we pledge, and then we can get on to the next thing on the agenda.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey Eddie, can you put the speaker down in front of you guys? Thank you.
All right. As long as we've got a quorum here, I'd like to move on with a resolution to approve James Hemingway, acting supervisor, to have access to all bank and investment accounts for the town of Shelby.
So moved.
I'll second.
Doesn't everybody have access to it?
But I didn't have access because we had a resolution that passed that you, three were put on, and then we did no resolution after that to have me added to it. So if we could do that, we have a motion to, and seconded for that.
Do you want a roll call vote?
Sure, I like that.
I do too. Okay, Linda,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
and John,
Yes.
and Jen.
Yes. Before we move on to the budget discussion, just to let you know where we are with some of that, we have not yet, apparently, from what I can find out, signed up and gotten you three, me, or anybody here access to the New York class to make any movement with that. Now, fortunately, it doesn't look like we've needed to, but I did talk to the attorney today briefly. She was supposed to get me a contact at New York class so that I can reach out to them, and what we'll need to do, talk to them, get them a resolution, the first resolution and the second resolution, appointing me as supervisor so that the board has access to that New York class. And it was resolved, of course, in the first resolution that you three would have that access. So we'll need to get them, New York class, the resolutions, and then get that going, because at some point we'll need to access that cash to pay bills and to provide that for the rest of the budget year here. All right. We've, for those sitting at the table here as part of the board, we've all been part of working on separate segments not necessarily separate, working together to try to come up with some ideas on how to approach this year's budget. We're way behind the curve on this. This should have started in June. So I hope the public bears with us. We're doing the best we can to get the information and figure out where everything is. We're confronted with two issues, of course, making sure there's enough to pay for the current budget, the 2025, and then putting together a budget for next year and to minimize the amount of taxes that that we all pay as residents, and that's all of us. I will tell everyone and put it on record that we are struggling. Um, Again, we're moving forward. This isn't a blame game, but there was some overspending and some usage of the reserve funds that we're still working out. So as we get through that and get more information, we'll be able to uh, provide that to the public as to where we stand. We intend, as John Massidi made clear in the first meeting, this is an open board. We'll do the best we can with transparency. And we certainly will entertain questions from the public at any time. And again, do the best we can to answer those. Don't expect that we will have all the answers the first time, but we will certainly get back to you if we don't have the answer at the time you're asking it. When we started out with this, there was a substantial increase in taxes if we had left this following, which is somewhat normal, just using the budget from the previous year. We've had to make some substantial cuts. And as we go through, we're learning that some of the questions, if you followed some of the meetings in the past, have been what spending is where, because that wasn't always clear. You have these funds, and they may have 100 line items with different companies or different spending in it for different things. And that's been a challenge. We're getting there. So again, bear with us. We're probably going to have other meetings, but this is where we are tonight. So I guess, I don't know, Lynn, do you want to speak to the sheets that you put together here a little bit about where we are, some of the things that we've cut?
So the cover page, you see, does not include any water yet. It just includes the four main funds: general townwide, general outside, highway townwide, and highway outside. So I put in the numbers that we had as of 2 days ago, and as you can see, in the bottom right corner highlighted in yellow is what the current tax rate would be right now. But there's still some things that we haven't adjusted for. So I want to go, we haven't done a quick route look through of the A fund, which is the general, but we've done some cuts in the highway fund, and the main ones were last year there was $225,000 as a reserve in the highway TV fund, which we took out because it was not used. We also reduced the road maintenance for contractual by 50,000. That was, I believe, with approval from Dale.
You would reduce it by 50,000.
Yeah, I think he said a little more, but we took it down gradually to see where we could be and not hamstring him too much.
And I spoke with him today, told him about the situation, and he said, well, whatever we have to do to, we can't pay roads this next coming year, we can't pay roads.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping that it doesn't come back, that we're just kind of cutting it. Yeah.
Because of his willingness.
Yeah.
And as you go through these, when you have a line item, would you please just give us?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So,
Okay.
so what I was talking about there, so DB 5110.4, we reduced that by 50,000. We also reduced the very last line there, DB 9901.9 by 225,000.
You can explain that one.
That's the one that was the reserve put in at the end last year. Honestly, I don't know what it was there for.
Make up a deficit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we have one, but anyhow, so that's fine. So anyhow, Dale said he could do without that. We didn't use any of it, so we took it out.
What sheet are you looking
Oh, I'm sorry, DB, John. Go back about 4 pages maybe. In the top corner, it'll say DB.
Right, so you tell us Shelby DB fund up to and I give you all I thought I put it in for everybody.
Yeah. I have my computer, so I don't need to.
Here, no, here it is.
You guys okay? Okay. So 5110.4 came down by 50,000, and 9901.9 came down by 225,000. I should go back and mention that last year we used just over $1 million worth of reserve cash with the available fund balance to cover operating expenses. We don't have that money available this year, so we have to fund the budget through taxes. So we won't. That's the reason why we're trying to dip in here and cut back what we're cutting back. So so I took out in the income side, there was some use of let's see, an interfund transfer. We took that cash out for $200,000 also. That 200 transfer in was meant to cover the 225 of expenses. I think last year what they were doing was just trying to move money from the funds because one fund had a little bit extra cash, so they were moving it from one highway, one B fund to another. Okay, if we back up one to the DA fund.
A single sheet. Looks like this.
So in DA 5130.2, that was machinery and equipment. We took out that $100,000 because that's where the new truck came out of, and we're not buying a truck this year, so we took that out. We also dropped the next line, 5130.21, which is equipment reserve. We dropped that by 167 for the same reason. There's no new plow truck coming this year, but we left 100 in there to try to keep a little bit each year to put towards a new truck every 4 to 5 years so that we wouldn't have to hit people all at once. And then the last one there is 5130.4, which is machinery contractual. We also dropped that by 40,000. Our history has shown we haven't come near the $100,000 that we have been budgeting for, so we dropped that back. DA 5140.4, brush and weed contractual.
Are we allowed to comment?
Sure can, yep.
Sure,
If you have something,
absolutely.
stop me anytime. I was just
Okay.
going through what we changed.
My 2 cents for the equipment reserve, I understand the importance of it. Maybe we want to drop it back to 50,000 this year. So
Yep, I mean,
Mike's work.
we tried a first round, this is kind of where we ended up, but yep, we can,
Let's drop it to 50. We're trying to, just,
In previous years, 23 and 24, it was zero, right?
yes, what you'll
Yeah.
see, yep.
Since we brought two brand new trucks, I think it should be down to zero for this year, so we can
But won't we be looking for a new truck in 4 years? And if they're $400,000, if we don't put something away, we're gonna have to we're gonna put a $400,000 spend in 1 year.
It's kind of what happened to us.
That's what I'm,
Personally, I'd like to see us put something aside. I think the 50 is better than 100, but if we don't put anything aside, I know that Ridgeway and most of the other municipalities do have a fund that they put money in every year to avoid having to raid the reserve funds like we did for the last 2 years, which has put us in the situation that we're in now.
and this is a first round. I mean, that doesn't say if we still feel like we need to cut back more, we can always come back and take it out. This is not like a final. So I'll drop it to 50 for now. We'll see what it looks
Yes.
like after we're done.
Okay.
You good, John?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good with it.
So 5140.1, I'm sorry, .4, it's brush and weed. We were putting the mowing in there for the cemetery. We moved that mowing to cemetery so that we have one bucket for cemetery and we know what the total cost of operating the cemeteries is. So you'll see that come down, but you'll see cemetery go up by 43,000. So that was just a move. And that's all the changes that I think we've made in this budget, in this one. If you back up one more to B, we didn't make any changes here. So I don't know if you want to look through it while we're on the page, or you want to go through all the changes and then go back. I guess I should have asked that before.
Which one's that?
B.
I would like to speak to one of the elements that's in here. We can have a discussion about that in a second, once you get that in front of you.
It's a paper clipping, Janet.
We've got in B, in appropriations B 3650.4, which is the second one down in the appropriations, building demolition contractual. We have $7,500 that we've put in the budget and never used it. So I talked to Dan Wolf about that, and we have done demolition. And the idea was that it was supposed to come out of that. At this point, I haven't been able to find out the demolitions that we've done. Where did it come out of? How much was spent? So I don't know at this point to you, until I can find out how much did the demolitions cost us in the past. Some of the demolitions that were done were volunteer work. Some of it was pro bono by certain people. The fire department participated in one where they removed some trailer where they removed all the stuff that couldn't be burned, and they burned it. So there may not be much. It's hard to tell, but I don't know where it came out of. So I don't know what you want to do with that 7,500. Do we leave it there?
Does he have something? Does he have any
There,
buildings in mind that he thinks might?
I think
coming
there are
down this
probably a
year?
couple. There's one on was that Fuller Road there?
Yeah.
You would probably know.
But how long would it take for him to get I think he's got to go through a process.
It could take a while. It might not be next year.
Yeah, it might be not maybe another year. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm thinking.
I'm sure we could take the 75 out of there as far as I'm concerned. It hasn't been tapped in 3 years.
Yeah, there's nothing in the works right now, right? Is that what he said? Or?
I didn't get that indication. He said it's going to take some time.
Yeah, it will for
Yeah,
sure.
but if you have a fire too, they go in and get rid of what's left. Is that part of it?
Mostly it's
That's a
condemned.
homeowner's
It's more demolition abandoned property when there's no owner. When there's no owner, they
Delinquent taxes, and they just abandon it. You know.
Yeah, they can't find the owner, or the owner is deceased, or doesn't have any money. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. So we can either take it out, leave it in. I'm of the mind to take it out at this point. It's been in.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for anybody that's listening in the YouTube, and certainly I think the people here understand the budget is what we base the taxes on. So that if we put 7,500 in there and never use it, every year we tax people on that 7,500. Doesn't mean that even if we use it, that's used, we fund it for cash to pay for it. But every year if we put it in, that's part of the tax calculation. It doesn't roll over into the next year. It doesn't save us really anything other than we didn't spend the cash that went in it. But we did tax the public based on that appropriation. So if we can take it out, we've been paying tax on it for 4 years, 7,500. It's not huge, so let's take it out. And I think it's important for everybody to understand that's what happens in these fund accounting. You make up the budget, the taxes are based on that. If you don't use it, you don't send taxes back to people because you didn't use that fund. So it goes to zero at the end of the year, and you start over the next year. So we take that out then to 75?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we skipped over the constable and personal services. What are we gonna do?
Good question there. I think that's worth the discussion. Um, I was of the mind to try to keep one person, but I thought, to have them come in, turn the lights on, do some, things, get things set up. We don't need security. Certainly don't need anybody carrying a pistol. But if the board wanted to save some money, we have 4 of us here, and hopefully by the end of the year, we have 6 of us, or five of us anyways. I can't count tonight. It's been a long day. Um, that we take turns coming in just to make sure. Now, quite often Darlene is here, but I don't want her opening up alone. So when the doors get unlocked, I want another person here. We could save that security if you want, Ed, and I'd be happy if we'll all be willing to come in and unlock the doors and be here.
I'm usually here anyhow to look at bills, so
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
If we're good with that, we can remove that.
I have a short half-life, I'm willing to do it.
John can do it the next 3 meetings, then he won't do it at all next year. Just kidding, John.
All right,
Just
that's
kidding.
that's a nice that's a
So-
nice save.
Does that number there, is that inclusive of the court, or did he budget for them in his budget?
That's a good question.
Individually?
Good question.
Because.
And we may have to adjust that if some.
Oh, no, he's got him in his.
Okay, good.
He's got him in his.
All right.
Salaries.
So let's take them out of ours.
But I do have a question about his. How did his salaries go down? I mean, I'm just looking at him.
I hadn't had a chance to talk to him about that. I got this yesterday.
Right.
When I did go to see him, he wasn't in yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to go see him today. So that's a good question.
What line was that? What number line?
On the constable,
Yeah,
B 3120.1,
that was how much?
4932.
Okay, thank you.
He didn't include the constables.
he didn't.
He wrote them on here, but he didn't put it in the total. So I'll
Okay.
add them in the total, and then we can take them out of ours and put them in his.
Yes, okay.
Okay, give me 1 second.
We still pay for it, though.
Correct. It still comes out of the
At least we're
town,
not
but-
double.
Yeah, we're not.
upping the
Correct.
expense. Yeah.
Right, so it was 4932 for him, and then we were paying the same for our meetings.
I'm not sure he
I'm
was.
not sure. I don't know when
I
he did
think
in the past.
I think he included them in the past. He just didn't pick them up this time. So yes, we had them in both places, I believe.
He's going to have.
So, what is he gonna be asking for the 4932 just for him or for him?
Yes, he's going to be asking for. Let me find him here. Justice.
So that's gonna add to his budget, right?
It shouldn't, because this should be paying for the hours that they're in for us. But that's a good question, and I'll try to get a hold of them to double check on that, Ed, so that we know for sure.
Yeah, so he's just going to add that in.
Right.
So it's going to be 65. So it went up to $1,500, $1,700, something like that.
Because he has more than one person in
Mhm.
court at any particular time. So
He raised his conferences a little bit because this year he said they're in Albany as opposed to here in Niagara Falls. So he's going to have to drive. What's your appetite for 4540.4, the ambulance?
Here's my feeling on it. Until
I think we have one more year, correct? I think it's a 3-year contract, so this coming year, okay.
It's
So
gonna
I
be-
just wanted to make sure we weren't gonna miss that if it was gonna get upped, that we weren't gonna, but we have one more year?
I believe so, and I
Okay.
can double check on
Okay.
that. But my feeling is, I do believe that that's probably going to go up, but that's going to have to be a negotiated
Yeah.
item, and not just with us. It's going to have to negotiate it with the towns that utilize that service. I think there's a lot of data yet that needs to be, and I know that's what the email that we got about putting together a group to start researching emergency services. Just for the record, the ambulance from Edina is paid solely at this point with some contribution from the 3 towns. The vast majority of calls, though, leave the village and go outside into the towns. And so there will have to be a future discussion about, at this point, on this side of the county, we have a premium ambulance service. If you talk to any of the volunteer firemen, they'll tell you they don't want to do without it. On the eastern side of the county, Albion and such contract that out, and it costs them, the towns, substantially more. And everybody over there complains about it. So at some point, there's going to have to be a discussion about what's the appetite to pay for a premium service, because the village can't shoulder that themselves. And I'm not talking about, just to be clear, that's not their new fire truck. That's not to do with the firemen. It has to do with the ambulance service. And so that's another discussion that will be public. And I think that that's something that the public will have to weigh in on how strongly they feel about maintaining that service. So at this point, let's keep it at the 30 contract,
Yep, I can
35,
remember,
and
yep.
then we'll have to have a larger discussion about it later.
Okay. Let's see. The Social Security and Medicare is going to have to change. Mark that. Because I don't know what the MEO increase is.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not in this B fund, but actually it will be in the B fund because there's some salaries in here. So wherever the salaries are, we're going to have to up that amount. And then unemployment, I'm not sure how that works. I don't know whether we have unemployment insurance, or do we just pay as we go, we get charged by the county if we use it, if somebody, okay. And workers' comp, I think, is the same thing.
So would you recommend that I contact the county on those?
Yes, I have a feeling that one of them, I think it's the unemployment, has something to do with the county, that somehow,
Paying through their fund.
yeah, or something like that. We self-insure unemployment, and we only have to pay if somebody claims, and then they bill us if somebody claims, something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but that sounds. I would call the county and ask them how that works.
Okay.
Okay, you want to go into A?
Why is garbage in 2,500?
You know, John, it's been running about 2,000, and I don't know. I looked at that myself and was going to try to take a look at
The invoices?
the invoices to see what we're paying per month.
Okay. I can, again, I'll be in here for a good part of tomorrow and Friday. I'd be happy to research any of these that we have questions on tonight, so that when we get together again, I'll have some better answers. I can tell you that it's not always obvious where you find the answers to these questions, but a little research and we'll be able to get them by the time we meet again.
But state retirement looks very, well,
I'm feeling like they don't charge it to this fund for some reason. It looks like they charge it to the A fund, Sean, to like the whole town, because that one's like 16,000 and something.
State retirement, what are you looking at?
I will, yeah, state retirement. I will say this, I don't know anything about the state retirement. I haven't found anybody yet that could actually explain how that works.
I know it's going up
Six,
considerably.
5 to 6%, I think I read.
Which line are you talking about?
Oh, 9010.8.
But state retirement, I don't see anything in there.
Correct. So I'm saying in the B fund there isn't any, but there is some in the DA, there is some in the DB. It's I think it's following the payroll.
I know the IDA is paying 25% more this year.
Oh, really?
In 2026, in the way the retirement fund works, if the fund does well, the increases aren't as much.
Mm-hmm.
And the fund has done very well, but because so many people are retiring, that they're extracting more funds that are coming out than they're going in. So I don't know if that's exactly right, but it should be looked into.
The NAPWE just did a webinar with the Association of Towns that I watched last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I must have got it in an email from them or something, because I usually, and I thought in there they were talking like a 5 to 6% increase, but maybe I'm thinking of something else.
So is that a number though that we get from the county? Is it administered by the county and then we're invoiced for it from the county?
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
So who would I contact in the county?
Would it come through like
I'll
vouchers?
get your name.
Yeah.
Get your name? Okay.
I was gonna say, or any questions we have of where it comes from, I can go into QuickBooks later and look at where so far anything that's we've paid.
Yeah.
But again, if we could get access to last year too, that would.
Yeah, well, John, you can get me one, or if you can see in the QuickBooks, let's see if we can come up with an answer to that, okay?
Yeah. All right, move on. You want to go on to A?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Let me just make this one change here. We made just a few changes here, so I did just now update the judge in his 3 lines. We
So where are those again? Just again, read them out. So
A1110.
Okay.
Point 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah. And what are the increases there if you entered? You said you entered them.
Yeah. So 65,231.61 for payroll.
Okay.
Which is the .1 line. .2, he is asking for $2,800 again in equipment. And the third line, the .4 line, is contractual. He's asking for $15,700.
And what's in his contractual? Does he have that defined in there?
Yep, he does. He's got steno fees for when he has to have a stenographer come, conferences, which are in Albany this year instead of Niagara Falls, I think he said, and then mileage. Constables for their certification, that was $750. Library, so books that he has to get, he's got in there. Interpreter, he has to have interpreters for court. Computer software and computer maintenance.
So 15K he's asking now.
Yeah, 15.7. He did put office supplies and dues. I'm not sure what the dues line is. Office supplies in the general fund, because we talked about putting that all in, since it's all in the A fund, doing it all in storeroom, so we could see how much office supplies are we actually going through here.
Yes.
A1220.1 supervisor services. We got that 10, but I think that needs to be 11.
Let me talk about it, and that's in the supervisor.
Yep. 1220A1220.1. it's like the third, fourth.
So the supervisor service, is that the fee to the supervisor, or is that the secretary that he had?
No, I think that's the supervisor's salary. Yeah, that's the supervisor's salary.
How in the world did it's only like 10.5 or something?
Yeah.
We spent 15. How did that?
Well, because he did have his, I think,
That in the-
anyway, yeah, so last year it was himself and or secretary.
So let me talk to that about something I want us to consider. It isn't a set thing at this point. I'd really like to hire somebody not as a secretary, be part-time, maybe 10 hours max a week. And what I'm looking for is somebody to maintain the website. We need to get a new Facebook page. We got 1,300 uh, followers on there in terms of how we look, and I think it's important for our constituents. When you've got 1,300 people following, how many actually live in Shelby, but obviously it has some attendance. Right now, we still have former administration representing us on Facebook. I don't think anybody here, I certainly don't have the qualifications to do that. I'd like to get somebody to make sure that we have all the information in terms of packets printed for the public and for us as a board when we have meetings. We want to do hyperreach, we're paying for it, and we don't use it. Hyperreach, for those that don't know, is a method of getting messages out to people, public constituents that have signed up for it. So meeting notices, fees, closures, all those things should be part of the program. Again, we've paid for it, we've never used it.
Is that reverse 911?
It's not reverse 911, but it's a,
The village uses it, it's like a call, like a roll call thing that'll go out when you program whatever, and they use it when they're paving roads to say, don't go down this road today, or
it's all ground up.
or whatever, so, and I know in the past, we've put a lot of information, road closures and bad weather on Facebook, but not everybody will go to Facebook, but if you get a message on your phone, you might,
And people have to sign up.
you have to sign up for it.
But I'd like to see again somebody no more than 10 hours a week. And I think when I talked to you, made a suggestion. Maybe you can go into both seats, find a student that is looking for an internship or something of that nature. Um, so I'd like to put some of them up there and see. I'm certainly not a Facebook person. Um, you know, the trying to maintain uh, the web page which people use all the time has been problematic for us. I know Darlene's doing what she can, but I would like to have somebody, especially get somebody younger that might be a little more handy. I'll stack my grandkids against me. So we'll be open. I'd like to include some amount of whatever you're comfortable with. If it's 10 hours a week, that's $200 a week. I think that's a bit much. I don't know that we need somebody that up, but I want to entertain some thoughts from the board on that.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
am.
think so, yeah.
And like you said, it's only if we need it, so it'll
I don't
be
need a
hourly
second.
if they come in, so if they don't come in, we are not paying.
I type my own stuff. I don't need somebody to type and copy things for me. I do understand the copying machine, and I do touch type relatively slowly, but I do. So I don't need somebody to sit there all the
Yeah.
time with me, but I would like, I think, we as a town need to look a little more professional, and I think the people that are paying their taxes certainly would deserve a little bit better information flow and a better look than what we've had currently. So
I think that person could also be used to upload invoices to our program and save us money. Not to make decisions on where it goes, it has to be made beforehand, just upload them.
that's an idea.
Because Darlene is scanning and sending them, and they go right into QuickBooks from what she does. And then What they do at Single Source is they log in, they take the invoice out, and then they code it to where it's supposed to be.
No, it's already coded.
It's already coded,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they're
Not in
asking to code.
QuickBooks, it's not.
They
It's
code it.
coded on paper, but they have to go in and code it in the
Oh,
software.
you're kidding. I didn't
No,
realize
they have to code it, and I'm gonna tell you, because of the way we are set up with one bank account, it is not a process that you want to give to somebody that doesn't 100% know what they're doing, because it can get ugly
Well,
really
but I
quick.
think as we solve that problem, which
Then, correct,
then
then it
somebody, as
becomes,
John's suggestion,
yes,
but that
yes.
has to be corrected. And along those lines, we also need to talk to Single Source about when the vouchers come back to us prior to the meeting, because right now, they're not coming back sometimes until Monday prior to the meeting, which gives you and me no time to look at those. So they're gonna have to, with the scans, get it back by Friday.
Friday.
She doesn't wait till the very end, does she? Just send them
been.
all?
Yeah,
Oh, she
has
does?
been,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Then
then,
she just sends me one email with all of the vouchers, and I've got to print off all the vouchers. Then we got to sit and put the vouchers together. Then the department heads are supposed to come in and sign on them. Sometimes they're, well, I think Dale signed them last time, but that makes it,
Yeah.
short, but.
And that speaks, John, to your thing that you spoke to me about earlier today, was making sure that all of that, so we get a much quicker idea of where we are
It should be a
financially.
month end.
well, I think that's one thing that she has tried to do. Do you not have a cutoff of Tuesday?
The
Yes.
Tuesday before the
Okay,
meeting is
so
cut
if
off,
everything's
no
done
more.
Tuesday, then she tries to get it here by Thursday, but I think what's happening is Tuesday's not the cutoff. They're still coming into her Thursday, Fridays,
What we have been
so,
doing, I know that Tuesday is the cutoff, but we still, if we get them, we send them, but if she gets them on Wednesday, she should know the cutoff was Tuesday.
I think we
Not to
should,
send any.
okay, I think she's maybe doesn't know that, because there's not
either
any
that or we should
dialogue.
cut off sending if
Yep.
that's confusing Single Source and we're
Yep.
paying extra for her to go back.
Hold them for 2 days until,
May hold them at this point.
scan them the next week, the meeting week or something, so that
Yes. Okay, well,
Yep. Because I think, I don't want to speak for her, but I think what's happening is
Mhm.
she thinks those are supposed to get in that month.
No,
I think that's what's
no.
happening.
It's just that if they say there could be scanned, even though we know there's a cutoff, and we
Yep.
can still scan more,
Yep,
maybe that's confusing, I
I
don't
think
know.
it might be.
But,
I could, yeah,
I would say at this point then, on
certainly worth the
Tuesday, the
conversation.
scan is in
no
on
doing
Tuesday.
more.
That goes in the folder to be scanned for the next batch.
Yep.
Okay, so that way she has those on Tuesday. She can get them done in time for the board to review those prior to.
Yeah. I know she asked that we not send a lot of them together, just send, as we get them to her.
Yes,
That's fine.
So that, but we've got a stack of stuff just waiting now for vouchers, so, but we're a week and a half away from the meeting, so.
yeah. So I think what happens is, if I understand correctly, they're coming into an email address within QuickBooks, okay? They can go in and then they take them out of that folder and they actually code them in the software, and now she can run statements. But then on Tuesday, when the last day comes, they export them in to create a voucher. So that's why they only do the voucher process once, because
Oh.
it doesn't print a voucher every time they do it. That's not the way the software works, unfortunately. So that's why so you don't see the vouchers come back until probably
So
Tuesday.
we'd have to wait for her to do all the coding of the vouchers, and then when she gets it all done, then she could print the
Correct, and
vouchers.
that's why she wants you to send them as soon as you get them, because she can do her part in QuickBooks
Just not print
right
them.
away. She just can't print the vouchers
Okay,
until the Tuesday.
okay,
So that's why she's saying, send your invoices when you get them,
uh-huh,
but you won't get the vouchers back until
Oh.
like Wednesday, right? The
Right.
cutoff is Tuesday, she'll send them on, she should be able to
Right.
send them like Wednesday or
right,
Thursday mornings
Right.
type of thing.
okay.
Yeah, but that's why she wants you to send them, don't hold them till Tuesday, because then they
Well,
have
my
work to
cutoff
do.
is gonna be Monday, because I'm not doing them the week before. I figure the cutoff is Tuesday, I'm gonna be Monday.
Yeah.
So that way it gives me an extra day for Tuesday for her to get her stuff together and do it,
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
'Cause it's been a real hard trying to get into that routine, but now that I think we got that routine, I just,
the hard part is, John, we don't really have a month end, right? We stop like on the 10th 1 month and the 8th 1 month, as opposed to a true end of month. Like,
Is that self
It is self-imposed, I believe. And honestly, I'd like to see us cut off at the end of the month. That way she might have 2 weeks or 5 days, but
Because really what you want to look at is month by month.
correct.
Now you can't do that.
Correct, because 1 month it's the 8th, 1 month's the 5th,
It's
one
not a
month it's
bad
the
idea.
11th.
I
I'd
think-
like to see a month end
I
cut
think
off.
we need to investigate that a little bit though, because that'll mean making a change in terms with our vendors, some of them, and just to
It'd have to be like a year-end change, but I don't even know if you can do it that fast.
But you could, when we send out checks, you could put a notice in the checks that says starting the first of the year.
It's gonna be
Any
45 or
right,
whatever.
any invoice not received by the 31st of the month will go into the next month's
could be-
payment.
And I think you just change your terms to 45
Mm-hmm.
in essence and just say.
Some will get paid in 30 and
Some
some
will
in
get
45.
paid, quicker than that, but
I say leave them at 30 and pay them at 45.
I think you should notify people so they don't get hot that they didn't get it in the
Yep.
30.
And the only ones that you will not fall in that would be utilities and health insurance. No matter when they come, they're going to have to be paid.
What we don't want is someone sitting on an invoice
Correct.
for a couple months and then saying, holy Christ, look at this bill.
Oh,
Yeah.
You get
believe
an
me.
invoice, put it in.
I would be curious. So they have which I don't know anything about this. You have a is it DocuWare?
DocuWare.
DocuWare. Okay, so I don't know if that DocuWare system is a system where you can like pass paperwork back and forth for signature as opposed to it doesn't. It
No,
just
strictly for
just a
storage.
storage. Okay.
No, you can use it for that too, because I've done
You
it.
can?
Because I'm thinking, right, if you can, so where I am, we code our invoices, and as soon as I put a coding in it that it goes to the DA fund, right, let's say, as soon as I close that invoice out, it automatically gets sent to Dale for Dale to look at it and say, here's the coding, and as soon as he says, I'm done, it comes right back in again, and now everything's electronic and it's right there.
So DocuWare does do that, John?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know if it's a different version or if you buy different, levels, but it definitely does.
maybe it's a different software that would have that capability.
It's definitely DocuWare, because when I changed companies, I had to sign a lot of different documents that
Right.
pretty
So what's it
common.
called?
DocuWare.
Ours is just like a scanning up and it goes into the cloud and then like so that we can like building permits and all your vitals goes into DocuWare so that way they're safe.
They're in the cloud.
Which also wouldn't be a bad idea to use for like all of our budget paperwork, you know what I mean? So as opposed to having hard copies that you have to find and where did they go and did the box get lost or right now if we could.
As long as it doesn't cost me.
No, well, I would imagine if we pay for it, I don't know if we're paying by the amount or
No,
we have to call somebody at the company and find out what's our.
I know
look and
we
see
were at the point where we had to pay for more of the cloud.
It won't happen probably right away, and just so everybody, again, just not in the room, but outside understands, we're investigating and discussing these things, or they have specific line items on the budget to find ways to keep track of our spending on a real-time basis. One of the things we've suffered from is that we think we've got money and then later on find out that there's big expenses that are due or coming in and get surprised. So in order to better manage the budget and our cash, the sooner we know, or if we can know on a regular basis, this board will have a much better chance of managing our spending, which I think does everybody a favor. So
1220.1 supervisor services, we need to raise that by 10,875 or whatever it is.
well,
Because that's right now just the extra person.
the 1220.1.
Yeah,
I thought you said that was supervisor, and
it is, and we only have 10 in there.
so that pays for the supervisor.
No, the 10,000 pays for your person,
Oh,
or
it
you,
does.
one or the other, but it's only one of you, because it would be both people that fall under supervisor would be in there. So it would be you and your
Whatever.
eligible
But if you're
hire.
talking about 10 hours at $20 an hour, you're talking 200 times 12 months, you're talking 24K.
200 times 52 months. I'm sorry, 52 weeks.
So by
100 a
52.
week times 52 is 10,400.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So-
My math was way off.
So I'm going to add you another 11 into that
Okay.
to cover. Why is it not giving?
How much are you putting in, Linda?
11.
11,000?
Yes.
So for a total of 22 is what you're saying?
21.
21.
21.
Okay.
10 plus 11 is 21.
Well, I thought you had originally said move the 10 to 11, then you say we got.
Oh, sorry, I was, okay.
I got,
All
still
right.
got a couple brain cells left. Not
Okay.
too many, but
Okay.
they're hanging in there.
So contractual, we took down from 1,500, I'm sorry, equipment, from 1,500 to 750. We're not even sure what that, but in case there's something, but I can't imagine what.
I can't, after looking at
is.
that office, that I need to buy anything.
That's what I'm thinking, but
Your chair might need a roller.
Yeah, I'll see if I'll go down to Ace and buy one or something, There's lots of chairs in there too. I'll just take another chair.
supervisor contractual, we took that down to 5,000. What did we say went in there?
I gotta double check on that. I'm not sure what's in that, because if we can take that down even more,
There was a reason why we left it at that. There's something that goes in
Yep.
there that I can't. Let's see if I can get in and look. All right, what did we say supervisor contractual? What's the number? 222.
12204.4.
220.4. Okay, let's see. Okay, payroll fees. Payroll's going in there, wire fees, banking, stuff, time clock,
Oh, that's another.
which I'm not sure that's the right place for that. The time clock, to me, that should be in buildings. The time clock is used by everybody, not the supervisor. So it's all in the same place, I guess, but in the same fund. But I still think it doesn't make sense to put it under
Should be in building
supervisor.
contractual.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, the thing is now, how much is it?
Let's see.
If you want to leave a little bit in there for the payroll.
It's $204 I'm trying to see if that's a week or a month. Let's see. August time clock is $204. The time clock is $204 a month, so $2,400 a year. So we could take that down to 20. The supervisor contractual down to 25.
Okay, as long as
building by 25.
Okay, let's do that.
You're taking it down to what?
2,500.
2,500, okay.
And moving.
And moving it down to. Where's building? There it is. 1620. Moving it to 1620.4. See, it was 2,400. 2,400.
Mm-hmm.
The comptroller contractual, that's 1315.4. That is like our accounting fees.
Which number is that, Liz? I'm sorry.
That's okay. 1315.4.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be 10 less than that, but I'm a little nervous to get too close because we still are doing some
Extra work.
We have water still to deal with, which we haven't done, and that was not included in their quote for the bookkeeping for the supervisor, the water stuff. So, although that should actually go in water, so maybe we should take it out of here and move it to water.
Any extra beyond the 75 you mean?
I think we should take this to 70.
Okay.
And then move at least 5 into water, if not maybe 10. Because if they're doing work for water, it has to get charged to water.
So 70?
Yep.
And then 10 to water.
10 to water.
Okay.
That's gonna have to be split between every water district.
Yeah, I know. That's another nightmare.
The independent auditing line, the next line down, 1320.4. We increased that by 8 because we do have a quote from Drescher and Malecki for 18,000 to do the audit. For 2025 numbers, but it'll happen in
The
2020.
year-end audit.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know, John, what your thought is, and Jim and I have kicked around, and I think Ed and I a little bit, but the audit, I guess, we're not required, unless our bonds require us to do it, we're not required by the state to do an audit. If we have a reputable CPA firm doing our books next year, right, and we hopefully are cleaned up, I don't know that in 2027, that we need to audit our books in the 2026 year ends. And maybe we do an audit every other year. Maybe we ask what a review would do versus, I just hate to spend $18,000 when
But I think at
we
this
already
point,
have licensed people doing the books. I don't know.
I think though this next year though we need to
Correct,
check it
I
because
agree.
we're not out of the woods yet.
Correct. I'm just saying that might be that we might be able to take that every other year.
Yeah.
As long as it's not mandated by the state.
Right,
Yep,
or our
yep.
bond or our debt service, that there's something in there that says we have to.
Yep.
Yep, okay. Did she give us her assessor, 1355.4? That number comes from the assessor.
That's here is in the, what I gave you, I got today, and then I got a update on it. There you go.
Oh, gee, right here.
Okay, in that packet is not only her expenditures, but also the tax levies.
Yes, I put those in already.
Okay.
Those I put in, I didn't see this part.
Okay.
I missed that, okay. So I can adjust her salary, let's see, for 26.
Of course, she's putting in the 3%.
Do we have any say in that?
It's already been approved by Ridgeway. We're not approved yet, but it's in their budget, and I talked to her about that. I don't know how, I've talked to our staff about not having 3%, but I don't know what control I have over, or we have. And we just, say contractually, we're not going to follow what the other town that pays for the 3%.
Well, I guess I'm a little, because we budgeted 42,617 for her services.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that number on here, so I don't know where we got that number from.
It came in late. It came in late today, and I've not had a chance to really look at it.
Her 25 number is
Yeah.
not what we budgeted for, and I would have
Okay.
thought we would have taken it. So I'm guessing what she's saying is her total health insurance and everything, the cost to us is 60,856. Does that look right?
Yep.
Here, John, you're not on that page. I want to just make sure I'm putting the right number in.
Yep.
It's in the stuff Jim gave us.
So it's probably,
Did you find it, Ed? It's in this stuff. Oh yeah, you have it.
that's the
Okay, that's the
fire.
number I'm thinking, right?
Letter. It's got a letter on it.
Too much crap.
Yeah, no kidding.
But last year it was 63,262. So I'm again confused how it went down.
This is the assessors. What she's saying is Ridgeway pays 58%, we pay 42%. So what Linda's talking about.
Oh, maybe one of them dropped health insurance. Is that, am I reading that right? It's 60,856 is the total cost to Ridgeway for the assessor's office.
The 36. You mean the total at the bottom?
And then equipment is different. She wants another six. I'm talking just the kind of salaries and
Okay.
benefits.
Mm-hmm.
60,000. And then her equipment, she's asking for 630.
Yeah.
We don't have a line for equipment.
No.
We can add that into the contractual line.
Yeah.
So she's asking for 2,500 contractual.
Yeah. And she did reduce the postage. However, at the bottom, you'll see that there's a charge for a mailing that occurs by the county that we have to pay for when there's a change in assessment.
So,
There's a one-time mailing every
so I need to
time.
add that in also.
Yeah. That's in the bottom line there.
You're setting up our buzzer. You're setting up. There you go. You're bye.
Okay, so I increased both those per Julie.
Yeah. Yeah, that should have been with paperclip by a letter from Julie talking about why there's certain costs in this. Okay. Like this pictometry that she's,
The heck is that?
it's a program that they use that we pay. They pay the county, we pay the county. It's something that you can view all of the land and properties, get aerial views, get information about it. It's used by them for assessment purposes. It's used also and can be used by the superintendent of highways. I don't know that he does. If he needs to look at property and get information about roads, or there's a number. Apparently, I've never used it. That was the explanation to me.
Also zoning.
Zoning, the use of zoning. So we do have that, and we do pay for it.
If I remember right, it's supposed to be a flyover. We do a flyover every 3 years.
Okay.
And I know the Association of Municipalities this past spring, they talked about it, that they're going to fly over and wanted to flatten all the tax to be able to buy into that. So you get an updated everybody, and then in return you get your slides and everything back on all the property.
Okay.
Used wisely.
Yeah. Okay. So that's part of it. Just so we know, and that's in the cover letter that you provided an explanation a little bit on that.
1355.1 assessor services, and apparently is the Board of Appeals. Monthly or
They get $175 once a year
okay.
For 4 hours.
for 4 hours, and the appeals could be longer. So what Julie was looking for was to bump that to 200. Ridgeway, I guess, has agreed to that.
I've been on the board for 5 or 6 years. I never started at 175, I'm still at 175.
So I guess there is, do you want to agree to another $25 for the? Don't spend that all in one place.
Okay, so I added it.
Okay.
All right. It takes care of
And it goes a lot of times, last year, we had the year, but I was there for 9 hours.
Yeah.
So.
I'll trade you. Okay. Going. Do you want to tackle Darlene, or do you want to come back to her? Because I gotta figure.
Well, I think we can move right and move it harder.
Okay. 1410.1 support.
We just so happen to have clerk here, so she can address any of the questions that you have for her.
Darlene, hold on, let me look on here. I just took the number that we had budgeted in 2025, right, Darlene? So I took the budgeted number, which I was assuming was your salaries, and I multiplied times a 3%. I'm coming up with 70,000, not 80,000. Did you give yourself a bigger raise than 3%?
That's what my deputy added. My deputy.
Yeah, aren't they both in that line?
In the clerk, .1, it's clerk and deputy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and, I got, with a 3%, it was, did you get my updated one?
Yeah, I'm trying to follow the numbers here.
It was $47,210.05. And then when you add my deputy, she also split between records and my deputy. So what I did is I put her down for 10 hours a week for the records. So when I deduct what the amount of records would be, I added that to the 47,000, and that's why I came up to, well, it was actually up to 80,000.
Where are you getting so under the deputy, where are you getting 1,820 hours?
Where she works.
But is that your reduced hours for next year? Did you
know what? And I
reduced hours?
I did not, because we don't know if we're going to do that.
Okay.
We're doing it only this year because we're waiting to hear if people are complaining that we're closed on Friday, which we haven't heard any complaints yet. But what you have?
I had 3 people come to me already.
That we were closed.
I had someone complain to me.
When he was,
Okay, well, that's good to know, because no one has come to us. So, and we said, if they start complaining, then we will have to go back open again.
okay, because my other question was going to be, if you cut those hours, what does that do to the whole retirement 7-hour workday? You know, that
She
whole
would
thing
be still full
confuses
time.
me.
She's still full time.
But you wouldn't have 7 hours a day.
Right.
So what does that do for the retirement,
Yeah,
right?
retirement.
If your
I
standard
didn't-
workday
I
is
didn't
7
think of that.
hours and
I
now
didn't-
you're under 35 hours, what does that do?
Right, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's
So that's good to know that too. I did not know.
It sounds to me like you have to go back to Friday.
I think you're right. Full time Friday.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then if that's the case, these hours are back to what
Normal.
they would be? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's use those numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll start October 1st. I'll just start the full time again.
Okay.
Okay.
For the salary line, can we skip that and come back to it on Monday when we do the Monday one? I need to organize this in my head because I can't. Okay. Sorry, Darlene. I need to write myself. I can't follow. Okay.
It's okay.
Because we're splitting between different,
Yeah.
you know, for the clerk, and then some is going
got
in
the
records and some is
But
going
you've got
in.
the numbers you can work.
Yes, I think I,
So,
and if I don't, I
the
can ask.
records.
Yes.
That's just, she's only like 10 hours.
10 hours in records,
Or,
okay.
yeah, 10 hours. Okay.
And there should be a breakdown in the other sheets there that show you what that is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 hours a week. I've got her. She used to be 2 full days. Now it's 10 hours.
Well, there was also
The
something,
registrar, that is a New York State. That's to do with death and birth, and that's a stipend. I know some towns get more, but anyways, I get it's $900 on my line, but then 300 goes to the deputy, and then 600 goes to the clerk, and that's like a New York straight state thing.
okay.
Registrar, and that's usually what it is, just in stone.
There was something else though that we spoke about this week, that we talked about the records, and we said, why would that not be being charged to records? What was it? Do you remember? You do remember, right? We were standing there and
Yeah.
you said, oh my gosh, that's something that should be records, shouldn't it? And I said, yeah. But what was it? I don't remember.
Was it records or storeroom?
No, I think it was records.
Oh, the DocuWare. The DocuWare.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's the DocuWare. That should go under
I think
records.
DocuWare is being charged to
Storeroom or buildings.
buildings.
And that's $248 a month for the DocuWare. So if you multiply that times 12, whatever.
$800, 3,000.
Okay.
And that's currently where?
It's in Darlene. It's in the records
It's
line.
in-
Records
it-
contractual.
Yeah.
1460.4.
Okay.
So move DocuWare to
Records.
record. Now, that's contractual, you put in there, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, I do have it on this updated. I do have it on my updated, under records, it says contracted
Oh, yeah.
software DocuWare, 248 monthly.
Comes out to 2976.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops, that didn't look right. From clerk. Okay. The attorney, I don't know what you guys think. I know what Ed thinks. we, we budgeted 80. We're currently around 160. We should,
We're not done yet.
yeah, and we're not done yet, but we were thinking of dropping it to 50, but
Absolutely.
I just get a little nervous. I mean, but our retainer is 24. If we stay where we are, our retainer is 2,400 or 24.
Here's my view,
1,000 a
and I
year.
talked to Kathy a little bit about that. We're not gonna use them on regular meetings, okay? So, we can have the retainer and we may, I don't know what our contract is, whether we can change that, you know what I
We
mean?
don't really have a contract. We just had an agreement with them, so certainly it can be negotiated for the
But I
1st
explained to her that
January.
we had very little need to have her sitting in our budget meetings or sitting in on our board meetings unless there are some issues that we need. So I think putting 50 in there is generous. I really want to see what we can do to absolutely minimize that. We don't need to be calling her all the time. We do have to get through the rest of this year. There's still stuff to be straightened out. As your comment, we're not done yet, is probably
No,
very true. So
I'm just thinking, we're gonna have to have some ground rules.
absolutely.
All the departments gotta go through the supervisor or a board member to contact us.
Yeah,
The attorney.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the accounting firm.
And the accounting
because
firm.
they're $200 an hour too.
So
right
we're
now,
gonna rein all that in, absolutely, I agree with that 100%. Cause I try not to call her either, I
Yeah.
don't speak to her. Not that I don't, she's nice enough to talk to, but once we get everything straightened out, I don't see any need to consult. We have that service that we pay for.
The association.
Yeah, association.
Now,
She's very responsive too, Lori.
Yeah.
yeah, and we pay what, 1,500 a year or something,
I think it's 1,200.
okay?
Yeah.
That's, it's a little bit less than the attorney, and I think that,
Yeah.
they know the municipal law.
Did you order 2 new books?
No,
Not yet, I was
waiting for me because there's a highway book I want also. And I told her just wait and we'll order it all at once.
Okay.
Actually, I have the form on my desk,
Okay.
so we can do that.
As far as her not attending the meeting, she could do
Zoom.
a Zoom call.
Sure.
We could say,
Yeah.
or the agenda, if there's an item on the agenda that requires her, then
That's right.
obviously you could just
She's-
dial her up kind of.
And she's fine with that. I didn't get any sense that
She would
she's,
prefer not to drive out here.
she would prefer not to drive out here. So I think that she's more than willing to work with us. I think that she's,
Yeah, I don't foresee the autocratic rule that was in the previous administration, but I do think that if there is a problem, that they should be able to go through I would say 2 board members, get their consent rather than just one.
that's fine with me.
Yeah. So then if she wants to pay on a Zoom during a meeting, we got the 2 TVs behind us. Put her right on there.
Yeah, because anything that comes up, like you said, we ought to be able to first try going to the association and
Yeah.
see if we can get an answer from Lori. And if we still can't understand it or need further clarification, sometimes she does say, go, here's,
Yeah.
here's, it is, but you should.
And I think we should look next year too, that maybe even we don't need to have a retainer for them. Maybe there's some other way that we can work it out, whether it's a local attorney. I mean, there's been all kinds of suggestions. So I think once we have some time,
Okay, so 50.
let's just leave it at 50, but I was hoping that we can rein that spending in.
So we have $5,000 in engineering contractual, 1440.4. I wish I could go back to 2024 and look and see what that number, we spent
Yeah, what did they
38,000,
spend
what,
all
but
that
unless
money?
we're thinking of doing something with roads, if it's anything water related, has to go to the water district. So I can't imagine what the town is but I think that's probably a question for Dale, if you can check with him. Is there any reason he thinks that we're gonna need an engineer?
You're talking about
Other
that
than
in
water.
Yeah, other than water, and
talking engineering contractual.
yes,
Yeah.
and that would probably be only for something in the town, because if he's gonna use one for highway, that would go in the two highway funds. One of
Yeah,
the
you
two
would think
highway
so.
funds. So I'm just wondering, do we need that line?
Yeah.
If we could get access to the 24 stuff, we'd be able to.
I think that's more for projects rather than emergencies, right? And when you have a project coming.
Right, and
Yes.
yeah, and so that's, don't know of any project, I mean, I don't remember hearing any.
Solar farm was under the contractual, that engineer.
Yeah,
Engineer.
but
Oh.
we're not
The
supposed to pay
company
for that.
Yeah, the
Right.
company
We're
paid
not-
That's
for
what
that.
they were using when they were coding. They said use a new leaf, use it under engineer contractual, or,
Oh,
yeah.
to
We
keep.
shouldn't have, that would only be, we shouldn't have any fees.
Nah.
No, I wouldn't think so.
That's
'cause I
all
thought that
supposed to
was
be paid for.
paid for by
Yeah.
them. So I don't know, do you want to drop that a little bit, or do you want to leave it at 5?
I will ask him, and
Okay.
make sure that there's
I'll
nothing
highlight
there,
it to
okay?
look at it,
I've got a note here.
okay. Election services, this is an election year, but
Yeah.
next year's an election year, so we need to leave. I
Yeah.
think we leave those in every year, just.
Yeah.
Contractual, we've spent 55 this year.
I just leave it, put the 5 in,
Okay,
and if we, then the contingency, if it's $300 more, then you take it out, rather than,
records personnel, that's gonna come off of Darlene's sheet, so I need to look at that, and we can maybe talk about that one. I'm guessing, Darlene, there's only 1460.2 records management equipment. You'd probably just leave a small amount there in case you have to buy something.
Yeah, and I know we've stacked up on our boxes we have to use for the storage, so I can't think of anything in.
Okay, so it's small enough to. Management, records management contractual, that's where we just moved the DocuWare to. And there must be something else small in there. And then we get to the biggie, building contractual. 1620.4. We're at 107,500.
and you got QuickBooks there, you
Yep.
can take a look
Oh,
at that.
I'm getting in there. I can tell you one of the things I know that's in there is CHPC. We put that $1,700 monthly in there.
Did you look at the contract, or what we've got, I sent you, Linda?
The CHPC contract?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the 1,700, you asked me what they did,
Yeah,
and I explained everything they do with
Yeah.
cybersecurity and
yeah.
the internet
Okay.
and all the service and.
I think that over the next year,
Okay.
my intent is to review all our contracts and see. Right now, it's been certainly not enough time to do that, but I'd like to see every one of them and evaluate and make sure that what we've got is that we need it and that we are actually getting the service we're paying for.
So what's going in there, I'll just say to you, John, that's not what you broke out, right? You broke out the highway.
He broke
Yeah,
out the
I broke out the
Okay.
highway.
So what's in there is EcoServe, which is our pest service. Cintas, which is the mats that we do, in the doorways and stuff. Custom Tel,
They handle the phone system.
right? Which I think we should again look at to see if we're
As soon as I-
charged for the phones themselves, do virtual numbers and forward to cell phones. Yep.
Once I can find the contracts. So far, I haven't found the repository for contracts.
You missed it. It's called waste management. Toshiba is on here,
Yeah,
Darlene.
That's the copier.
This copier in here, okay,
Everybody uses that.
okay. I'm gonna just write Darlene's office. Okay, NICEAG is in here. That should be a line of its own, I think. We should put utilities as a line of their
Yeah.
own
Mm.
under there, so that because John and I talked a little the other day about this, if we can bracket out some things that we know are gonna stay no matter what, like phone is gonna not, so if we
That's a
lump
good
all
point.
those utilities, we know when we look at those lines, we can't touch those.
Yeah.
When
Good
we look
point.
at the
Let's-
stuff that's not,
so
I'll make a line for that. Like add a new account underneath so that it shows up separately. All right, let's see what else is in there. Cleaning services in there. Darlene, how often do they come? Do you know?
They come every week. They usually do Thursday in the side, and then Friday do the court side. I know they have vacation. They were on vacation a couple weeks ago, and then she had a procedure with her back, so she couldn't come in that one night. But usually they come in every single week.
And
They
sorry,
might take 2 weeks off in the whole year that they're here.
but you said they come once a week,
They come
two times a week. They come
once here and then once over.
okay,
Yes.
and they clean each side one time.
Yes.
And over there, you said it's like Thursday or Friday.
There's usually Friday over there.
So this came up at a village board meeting about the village is struggling with finding a place that's big enough for them to use and has the parking and seating
Yeah.
for their. So they've had mentioned that they should move somewhere else, like here.
Oh,
So curious to what your appetite is, Ed or John, for them to use the facilities here. But before, apparently, when they came here, they were being charged. I'm not sure I agree with that, since half the people in the town of Shelby are already paying taxes to
Right.
maintain the
This
building,
is-
and
this
now
is
you're gonna
town-
tax us again to,
Yeah.
Townwide,
yeah,
we're not gonna charge them.
okay,
All
so
right, that's ridiculous. I mean,
and if they're cleaning over there, their meetings would be on Monday nights. If they're cleaning over there on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever day, it's already after their meeting, so
Right.
they're
I think-
not gonna make that much of a
I think
mess.
certainly, and they're cleaning over on the court side when?
Friday.
Right.
Well, they fluctuate. If they have something that they had done, they might come Saturday morning and clean. But
Can
generally
we,
it's Thursday and
we may
Friday.
wanna change that around a little bit. When's court days?
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
And Monday morning.
I think we might wanna
clean
talk to
Wednesday,
clean Wednesday.
right
Well,
after.
I do know they have other places they do. I know they clean Ridgeway.
Yeah.
But we'd have to look. I don't know if they're busy on Wednesday. I know.
I'd like to investigate that because after court night, I think it needs to be cleaned over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see what else is in here.
Can I ask a question?
Waste
Are we
management.
are we gonna let the village come here and use our room?
I
Is
think,
that gonna be something?
That's what you just said, yes.
Oh, yes, but we gotta do that in a meeting or do a proposal or?
well, I don't think it needs a resolution, as long as nobody objects
Okay,
here
thank
to
you,
it.
because I'm telling you, I get in that room over there and we're all, we're all sitting like this and thank you
Listen,
very much.
we've been enough of those that we know that what it's like. I think I'm gonna add something to that just so that, because there is a quote sitting here that will have to come out of this year's budget. I did ask CHPC to initiate a quotation for adding a wireless access in the court area for the town. And that goes because sometimes we've had meetings in there where people are trying to look up documents as we try to move Shelby into this current century. There are a lot of times people like Linda and other are trying to access documents in these meetings. So we'll set up rather than that guest one, and it's only 200, what,
Well, that was,
$219, $220 to,
that included a hard drop too, for us to be able to access those TVs.
actually,
Because
and
she's got one at her end, but if she's trying to record and we're trying to use the TVs, it doesn't.
now, and we need some clarification on it, but when I talked to the guys about it this morning, apparently, when this gets done, we should be able to go wireless
To
on
the
everything.
TVs. Oh, okay. So maybe that's why we needed a hard drop
Because
before.
that was that's what I want.
Yeah, to use
So
those.
that people can, we've got a meeting, we're trying to show documents to the people there. The few times we've tried, it's been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And this way, we should be able to get that on there. So,
Does that allow you to hook up to a TV and give a presentation?
Yes.
yes,
You have special
I,
wireless?
I think.
That's what he's adding, hopefully, is going to give us
Hopefully
the
it's gonna-
connection.
And I can double check with that, John, to make sure that's true, because we've got all that equipment we've paid for in there, we don't use it.
So
When,
this is here to 220 then you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, when they were here, they checked to see if there was a line already through, there wasn't. There's a hole to put a wire through. They went ahead and put the wire in, thinking that we probably would take the 220.
when we do that, they should do a cheat sheet for how to,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
and leave it, and we should have a copy,
I'd like them
Darlene,
to
that
come-
comes
I'd
to
like-
the meetings, yeah.
I'd like them to come in and train.
But they should also given us, because when you only use it once every 2 or 3 months.
I do
I mean,
forget.
yes. Okay, so we also have waste management, which must be our garbage pickup or something. We have Spectrum, our internet is in there. CHPC's monthly charge is in there. I'm looking for what else might be new. Then it looks like just some like hardware things, not
So you're
a
talking,
window washing goes in there, but that doesn't look like much.
The building's contractual.
Building
Yeah.
contractual.
well, he's got this on,
Oh, that's on one of the
the
highway.
highway list that we got here. So I think we're, counting things twice, aren't we?
No,
Or you can-
that sheet is actually ADA and
Okay, it's all
EDB
together.
all together.
Okay.
Oh, so then-
That's the spread, that's the sheet,
Yeah.
pivot table that John put, so you
Yeah.
can see each one of those accounts, and it's a combination of them.
What I'll do is I'll sort this particular account by vendor. Any vendor that we have over $5,000 or something, maybe we'll make an account of its own so that we can see larger amounts, especially utilities, because we know we can't touch those. We're never going to be able to reduce
Yeah.
those. And probably internet service, that at least we'll know what we're paying if we need to. And then there's a lot of piece hardware in here. We just, I don't see any other vendor that stands out. Oh, Village of Medina. Okay, so the Village of Medina, we have an agreement with them that we pay, and I don't know, Gabe might be able to speak more to it, the bridge deal.
Yes.
So we've been getting billed as they incur bills.
Oh, the pedestrian bridge?
Yeah, when they incur,
Pedestrian bridge.
yes, when they get an engineering charge for that, then they charge us some portion of that. Is that gonna be done in 2026?
Yes,
Okay,
that's what we were told.
okay. Oh, John, you might have known that. Sorry, I could have asked you.
That's just a pass-through.
Yeah, but yes, but we have to pay that.
Yeah, we
That's in this account, so
Yeah.
I don't know how much is left. And, yes,
We're watching that closely. Because you gotta be running low on that. You gotta be running low on that account. For 6 years.
so
Yeah.
we
for a
might,
while.
it might be worth a call to the village to find out, to Marguerite, how much is left on that we're gonna get billed for.
Mhm.
because I have no idea. There's just bills that kind of pop up occasionally in here.
Yeah, I know.
And that's pretty much it. Then there's, like I said, there's a bunch of
So how much is left?
Houseman refrigerator, quarterly HVAC maintenance. Okay, so that's another one. It's in there.
How much is left on the pass-through?
So some of this stuff looks like contracts, obviously. So if that's, so this is 17 a month. I can go back and try to, I'll get a better number on this if you let me just sort through these.
Yeah.
I'll do the quarterly times 4 times 12. The Spectrum is in here. There's an internet. It looks like the Toshiba. Darlene, for the Toshiba, is there's a charge for the lease? We lease that machine, right? Or do we own it?
We lease it.
Okay, so there's a lease
And
amount.
that's the bill we get, and then it adds, if we go over a certain number of copies, then it just adds so much per copy.
Right.
And if it's color, it's like more. But yeah, we get a bill every month on that.
And everybody, who has access to print there?
Everybody.
And we should restrict color access to only.
Because I use the one there, I don't use
Well,
that.
that's color printer also.
Yeah, but that's not too cheap, I don't think.
I know that, but I'm saying all color access to any printer should be. Yes, but I'm saying like Darlene should have color access, but in case somebody prints, it shouldn't be able to print in color. Sometimes you make a mistake, and before you know it, you've got a 300-page document.
That does get expensive. I do a color printer at my desk, so I do that, but I don't use it that much. So, but yeah, everybody uses that. Dan may use the color because of doing a map or something, but.
Okay, so I'm gonna see the 248 looks like that. Okay, so
Dr. Weir from Toshiba, and then there's usually ours is like $600 or.
okay, so then some of the DocuWare is also being charged to buildings and not all to records.
Well, we've charged enough to buildings up until right now.
Oh, I just took it out of the clerk account, so you're telling me it was.
It should go up. It should go records.
Okay, yeah, but I took it out of clerk. That was incorrect. It should have.
Yeah, it should go into the records.
Okay.
Take it out of clerk and put it in records.
Take it out of clerk or take it out of building contractual?
Well, take it out of the building's contractual.
And put it in records. Okay. I went, when I did the budget, I took it out of the clerk account. It wasn't the clerk. Okay.
No. There's two Toshiba we get, and there's one that, of course, Ed gets, or the court, because they've got after their side. Theirs is usually $75, $80 a month. But ours is more, it's used all the time.
Okay, let me go down to buildings and change that. Sorry about that. I got confused. Okay, and that's okay, so I can summarize that one a little more and break out some accounts. So I can figure out what the actual monthly amounts are that you have to pay, and then we can look at whether there's room to take out some of the missing
So some of the transactions for the table that I made up, there's Toshiba, it's going to the account.
Yes. Okay.
Is that right?
Yes. It would still be an A, it's just whether it's in contractual, or building or records.
Right.
So some of the Toshiba Financial Services, that's the copier, that's lease on the copier.
I can't tell which one is well, how much more bill is.
There's 4,000 for the financial services, February to the A account.
Printer contract, 648.62.
That's gonna be ours.
It says printer contract payment for June. 648.62. That would be just the copy. That does not include the extra copies. That comes separately or no?
Is there an extra charge?
If you go over a number, you're charged so much per black and white, so much per color.
What is that number?
It's another contract to look at.
It's usually how they make their money by jacking it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 120. $121 for a contract payment from May to June.
That sounds like court.
And then there's another contract payment for a different serial number. That's 335, 340.
That could be ours.
That looks like it's probably yours.
Yeah, it's probably more than the court.
Okay. So I probably 340 a month for a copier. And that would stay in building contractual.
Yeah.
And then there's a cost for the actual copies if they go over. So did he pick up in his court one the copier itself? Yes, he did. Okay, good. Okay. Insurance, that would be through, is the insurance through Tompkins? So that's probably a call to Tompkins to find out. That I think runs April to March. So I'll tell you what I'd like to do is I think we should re-quote that, don't you?
And so unallocated insurance, so
That's
what is this?
That's just
But
me,
what, Tompkins, what insurance is this now?
property,
Probably the building.
Through
building,
Tompkins, through the bank?
everything,
Oh, you-
yes.
Oh, really?
Highway equipment and everything.
Huh. The vehicles?
Oh, yeah.
Vehicles, yeah.
I think they get it through New York,
Nymer.
yeah. But we did talk to Lolly Services last year. They also can go through Nymer,
Okay.
but they also can quote it in other places.
I've used them before.
Yeah, and I think we should probably, I don't know who else, but there's probably, we should probably get a couple people because while the insurance amount is the same, the commission that the insurance agent takes is different.
So you're suggesting that I call Tompkins and do what?
Find out what our insurance, what they have us a renewal at, and we should at least budget that, and then we could still, I think, we should probably be reaching out to somebody else right now to start getting quotes for, I think it's like April 1st. I can send you the contact from the person at Lolly that we were gonna try to use last year, we just didn't get him the information
Got
he
too late.
needed.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I'll send that.
I've dealt with them before in the past, not the same contact, it's been years. But
Yes,
I've always had good luck with
yes,
those folks.
I have, but
So we want to know from Tompkins what our term is.
insurance cost is,
Yeah.
what they would give us an estimate on the renewal. And then at least we'll have a budget number.
And see what the term is. We don't know when it's to
yeah.
when to what.
Yeah,
You said you thought it was not even a fiscal, not a.
it is a year, but it's not on the calendar
Not on
year.
the calendar year.
No, I'm pretty sure it goes,
Okay.
which I don't know
So
why.
you'll get me a contact over there. You've got a contact at Lawley. We have contact at Tompkins so that I can call.
I think I've got it in my.
Okay.
We have a $50,000 contingency in line 1990.4.
What is that for, just
Anything we run over on this year, we went through the whole thing in legal, and we still are short.
That's just in case something comes up that we haven't covered in another line item. One of the things we've talked about, I don't know, you know, there's a number, and I don't know what the total number that we spend per year on conferences. Do we want to review those, and do we say that we take that out of the line items for highway and clerk and put it in a contingency that they have to come to the board for approval? Or do you continue to just leave them as it is?
Well, I think when someone goes to a conference like Dale this week, he should report back.
There's nothing to force him to do that, and I think when he goes, you make the contingency that he has to come for approval to go, which I'm not opposed to the people going, but there should be conditions associated with it.
Yeah.
If it's in his budget, he can just go.
I would just ask, and I don't know, Darlene could speak better to this, but I would be curious how much changes from year to year. Maybe every other year they go, because if you're going every year and you're only getting like this much, is it worth the
I think with the
$1,000
highway, it
or?
probably changes, and I think one of the main things that Dale hopefully comes back with is input on the chips, what people are saying,
Yeah.
and what the, what the atmosphere, or what the environment is for increases or decreases or keeping it the same.
And I made that suggestion to him about a written report, but I don't know how that, I'm not his boss, and certainly not, I can't require it.
No, I wouldn't say written report would probably be preferable, but I think at a minimum, just, what's going on, what's the overall look at things.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's important for that role to be able to work with his peers and develop relationships with them, as long as it doesn't turn into some kind of junket, which I have no reason to believe that it does, but that's my 2 cents.
So we leave them as they are then.
I'm just giving you my ideas, whatever you guys want to do.
How about we require having a itinerary, what they're gonna be talking about? And if it's worth going, I mean, I think we need to control that, absolutely. You know?
Well, again, if there's something there that the town benefits from, I'm
Yeah.
100% for it.
Yeah.
But if it's kind of just kind of rehashing and
Well, it'd be
very
easy.
little or something that doesn't even pertain to us, maybe we don't do it. I just don't want.
Well, the only thing I can think of then, again, is do you just take it out of their budget in the sense that and it's not hard to make a copy of what the conference is about. I mean,
Yeah.
they give you an agenda and everything, present it to the board, and just, you take it and say, okay, we approve it. Now, if we feel that these things are valuable, as John does, and I think in many cases that they probably are, it just puts the decision on the board to make the fiscal decision that it's worth the trip. So it's one of those things, and we have to examine the requests from both Dale and from Darlene. If those trips are included, you take those out, and then you just make sure that there's money in the contingency and put a requirement. We want a copy of the agenda. What's the anticipated costs, and then you put an approval stamp on it, and then ask for some information about it when it comes back. I mean, that's the only way you're going to control it. If the board feels, and it's up to the four of us whether you feel that that's an undertaking that you want to make.
No, in 23 and 24 they didn't have anything in there so what was the reason why they put it in for 25? And then nothing's been spent?
Where are you, Ed?
Contingency 1990.4. Uh, should be a good idea what all this costs during the year,
Well, contingency could be used for a number.
Well, yeah.
And I'm only saying that if you wanted to control
Yeah.
that element, you take it out of contingency. There's other things good thing we had some contingency on the legal, it wasn't enough.
Oh, yeah.
Other things pop up, and it does give you, because there are restrictions about moving money around. Is it a contingency something that allows you to address some place that you're short? I don't know that 50 is the right number. Is it 25? I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything particular in mind.
I don't know, I think 25 would be plenty, wouldn't it? I
See,
mean, we don't know what we're gonna use it. I mean, we had to use it for illegal, yeah, well, illegal was out of control. That's why we had to use it.
I agree. I think the spending definitely needs it, but I can tell you, because we still don't have, we can't access the 24 numbers, still that just for the public's knowledge, we have been trying to contact LGSS, who was the
Yeah.
firm that was hired in Syracuse to do the account for 2024, and we've been trying to contact them to get access to that information, and they've not responded. So being that this board has not seen those numbers, I personally, I don't like the idea of putting in a $50,000 contingency, but I'm not comfortable that all the cuts we're making, maybe we're a little lean in some places. I'd rather see that sit there myself. That's me.
I mean, you couldn't have a catastrophic failure on a mower and have to buy a
Right,
mower.
right.
50,000 to an individual is a lot of money. To a municipality, you could spend that in a heartbeat. So
Yeah,
I would be reluctant to go below 50.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel, but,
Between something happening
and we did leave
additional
50,
law fees, you can eat that up in 6 months.
and we did leave 50 in the highway fund, one of the highway funds, so it was kind of 100 total, but yeah, it's not a huge amount if something,
Well, and we're still straightening out some of the books and such, and we may have additional costs in the single source that the contingency could be used for also, right?
yeah,
We had to, because I know she's still running into to things that didn't get squared away from last year.
Has Kathy written a letter to them?
she did. She
Yeah.
wrote a letter and kind of let them know that if they don't respond, like she'll have to take the next steps.
Which is more legal action.
Well, we paid all that money, we paid like 25,000.
I know.
That's our data.
They should,
I know, that's kind
She
of how
hasn't-
I feel.
She hasn't
I
answered a
did,
phone or an email.
and I did call myself tonight and left her
Is she
at
sending us a bill
4:30,
still?
4:45.
Ooh,
Just
She did not
something-
y'all
respond.
did,
no, we've already, but we paid.
we paid,
I left a
that as
message.
ours.
yeah,
Kind of reiterate, we're coming down to the wire on the budget. We need that information to be able to
And
budget
it's been
next year.
crickets.
But
What the heck kind of organization are they if they don't respond?
I'm
They were
gonna,
the best. They
well,
were the best at
just for
voting.
the record, most people know this, Ed and I did not vote to take that
Yeah.
them. We did not want them. But I will call the state tomorrow and see what, if any, recourse do we have with them if they're not responding, not other than like having Kathy
Very useful.
contact them, but
Because every time we have Kathy do something, we're paying her.
yeah.
Yeah.
that's right.
It's a catch-22 on this one.
Well, we need the data.
Correct.
So you either go back and do it yourself, which would probably be a major expenditure,
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah,
or you use a legal fee to get it,
yeah. Well,
or a simple thing like a registered letter, like that tends to get people's attention. If you don't do this, we'll see you in court.
Do you think that registered letter should come from us or from the attorney?
I think from
Attorney.
the
Both,
Okay.
both, I think. Yeah, well, I'll sign it. We paid the bill.
Why don't you just go up there to Syracuse?
I'm gonna say,
Oh,
we're knocking on the
That
door.
would
I'm just saying, we paid the bill, we paid a lot of money for
No,
that,
Yeah, we did.
so,
You're absolutely right.
so,
They were the best.
yeah.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
the girl.
So I personally,
All right.
I'd worry to go under. I'd like to go a little higher, but the lowest I'd go is, what I'm comfortable with is 50.
Let's stick with the 50. I'd vote for that. So
No, it's the air.
if it's too cold in there, you can change it.
It is cold.
Should I see somebody there shivering? It's right above your head, John. Do you want to just go ahead?
The next number, Jim, is 5010.1, Highway Supervisor Services.
50 what?
5010.1.
Yep. Yep, and that's his salary.
Salary.
Okay, well,
And then we have contractual, which we left the same, because it wasn't really that much. And we could take a few hundred out of that if you want, but. And then we did drop the Meeting-Sept.24, the highway superintendent, contractual, we did drop that by 1,000.
Because it looks like that's about what the
Yeah,
25 would cover.
Yeah.
On a regular year, so.
So we have 10,000 in the IDA line. I don't know. I thought, let me see what he's putting in there.
Well, it says village bill for engineering and bridge project.
Yeah, because I think that's what I thought it was, but let me go back and confirm that I wrote that down right. What's the number? 50?
I think every year IDA writes a letter and asks for $5,000 from the towns.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, Gabriel?
Yes. But this year also, they helped pay for the study,
Yes.
Right.
The sewer study or whatever that
the
was.
sewer study.
Yeah.
They split it with Medina and us. We paid it and they.
So why do I feel like that number is normally 2,500 without any special? Is that, or is it 5?
I think it's 5,000.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, so what's in there right now is, so again, we've got this in 2 different places because people code things, they don't know what they've put where. We have one of the engineering invoices from the village there, and we also have one in building contractual.
Both for the bridge.
Correct. Which maybe that should honestly go in engineering services as opposed to, I don't know. Because it says a prorated share for engineering. So honestly, maybe those 2 invoices should be in the engineering line. And then we'd need to know from the village, how much more do we have coming?
I can find that out, but
But there should be an associated line in the revenue too, because it's just a pass-through. It's not an expense.
No, I think it's an expense to us, isn't it, that line? We're not getting any revenue from
No.
from that bridge going on over there.
No,
I
but,
don't think so.
no, but don't we reimburse them for it?
Don't we reimburse?
The
For the
towns,
bridge, for the town.
No, the town,
it's our share.
the town, just to back up a little bit, we all had a certain amount of money and we had to do something with it or lose it.
Right.
Right.
The town took their share of OCR money and, they wanted the pedestrian bridge. So that money is really old money that you had here, that we had to either use it or give it back to the state.
Hmm.
And so
ARPA
the village took over the administration of it. And, so I think we're pretty close to the end.
but the money, the income was received before. Like
Yes.
it's not matching the expense that's coming in. The expenses we're incurring today, we're not getting revenue at the same time to offset it.
No, you got the
No.
revenue 2 years
Previous,
ago.
okay, so we do have to
Right.
put it in as an expense then.
Yep.
So
If you even if there's any revenue, if there's any expenses left, I thought it was only the village that had the expenses left. But
they're billing us.
They're billing us, and that's a call that I'll make tomorrow.
I've always had some questions on this. So I think you might want to call on, you might want to just verify.
Mm-hmm.
that
With the village.
With the village.
Yeah.
And I think that it was, as far as the timeline, it would be trustee Marciano that has been involved in facilitating it with the Department of Transportation.
So it isn't just how much is left, it's should we really be getting a bill at this point? Is that what you're saying?
I think I'd want to verify.
There should be some documentation
Right.
on this, right? There should have been
We're close to the end of our.
Shouldn't there have been a written agreement?
Yeah, we didn't get that, I don't think.
You know,
We had one, I don't know about anybody else, but,
there's a bill now in our completed.
I know, but I'm looking for an agreement that says this
What
is,
do we actually owe?
what do we
Oh.
owe and what the terms were and everything. That's,
There would be something like that, and we could also, if there was an agreement, we'll look in our files,
would you?
and there could be a master agreement
Yeah.
that had everybody's commitment.
I would think that there has to
Oh,
be
yeah.
someplace, some written agreement that we could base our decision
So
on.
that you know,
Yeah,
yeah, all right, if there's a master agreement, we'll get it over to you.
yeah.
And I think there almost was, I think that's what
And,
happened.
you know, and I know that those documents are probably here someplace. I'm not saying that they didn't come through at some time, but I have looked and I have so far been, there's so many files here. And they don't seem to be all located in a particular order.
Shouldn't they be on the cloud and preserved?
Sure. I don't mean to be a smart aleck, but I haven't found anything, and you know, and in terms of when I got on the computer so far, I mean, there's nothing there. So, you know, yeah, there's a lot of things that should have been preserved. So
I think we can help with that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I could use a lot of help in this.
So do we agree though that since it's for engineering services, that probably should be charged to engineering
I would
and
think
not
it
in
should.
building and not in IDA? I'm gonna move it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, do that. That should be
Okay.
engineering services. Do you want me to send you a note tomorrow, or are you making a note to yourself now, Gabriel?
She's got a mind like a steel trap.
Yeah, we tried it. It's been a good day, so watch it, I'm telling you, right now, I've been on the.
Oh, Lord.
Careful, John.
All right.
Okay, I just wanna move that other one to Village of Medina.
Okay.
That to engineering. What's that engineering number? 16, 14 something.
1444.
Yeah, there we go. Save. Okay, so that's done.
Okay.
Okay. When we get down to cemeteries, probably like the last. So cemetery. Um, that contractual, we moved 43. It's at 50,860 right now. We moved 43,800 in there for the mowing.
Okay.
I guess I still would want to know, is that really the most cost effective? I mean,
Well, I had,
it might be, but
here's my question on all of it, and John and I had a brief conversation today about it. You know, obviously all the towns in the village have taken over managing cemeteries for a long time because there isn't any resource other than the town or the village to take care of them. So I questioned Dale about, you know, the outside firm for mowing and the cost of that. It's so much a month for 6 months of service. And I asked about, well, what about, you know, us doing it as opposed? And his feeling was that given the pay rate of our guys to do the work, plus having to buy the equipment, mowers, because we don't currently. Yes, sir.
Eddie, stop right there. We used to do that.
I know.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We had, and they went out and they bought them two brand new, John Deeres. They
Yeah.
bought the trailer for it. They had the two guys retired out of Harrison's.
Yeah.
How long ago?
This goes back
This-
Mike Fuller, and he says, John, what we pay them compared to having somebody out back then, he goes, you know, it's better to pay them to do it.
Yeah, and I don't know, you know, I don't know whether we have, I'm sure those mowers are probably long gone.
When
Oh,
Dale
yeah.
got in there, I approached Dale about it, they were gone.
Yeah.
So
What
we didn't
happened
see
to
them
'em?
on
Sold
any,
Sold them.
but they didn't go up on that auction block.
I don't know where they are.
I'm just saying, this is the two brand new mowers, I'm not saying they were, but they were gone, they were sold.
So the discussion is, is that the most cost-effective way to do it, and I have questions too about, I need to sit down, I think, with Dale and have a further discussion with this because we know that the MEOs are very busy during the snow season. This time of year, I don't know how they're doing. Would they be available? And then what would the cost of buying two mowers and then the hourly charge of having them do the work? I don't know which would be. So I think
overtime.
what's that?
Without overtime.
Without overtime. So I think there's further discussion. I think right now, I think we have to put that in there. The only thing I could think that you do is there's one change we did make there is that we've been paying for porta potties at the two cemeteries. That will no longer be in there, so those have to leave. And I've informed you about that. I won't approve any more bills for those things.
I think for 42,000, that ought to be bid every year. Maybe only one person's gonna bid, but
At least we
Last year, yeah, did
Didn't they do a 3-year contract for people who've gotten out? I know they're with Mr. Newton.
yeah.
So when we got these people, which are the ones we had the year before Newton, they said if they do a good job, they would have a contract be a 3-year.
Oh, I check it.
And where's that contract?
I do have that.
Oh boy, all right.
I have that.
Would you please get me a contract and I could look at that?
is there an escalator too? Like, do they get an automatic increase every year?
I didn't.
I don't think they want
I'll take a look at it. If you would please give me that so that I can take a peek at it.
See, that's the kind of stuff to me that's a document thing. We should be putting contracts in there. We should be putting so that when we want to see something, we have a place to go find that.
I know.
Well, one built a day.
Maybe you could just get some of that patience.
Low. The only thing I would say in going back to the cemetery is we did increase the cemetery from about 8,000 to 16,000 last year. That 16 is for maintenance of graves in terms of resetting headstones and that kind of work. Now,
The 16 that you're looking at is payroll. There's only
that's
Yeah.
payroll for the boys to go out.
okay. Well, you
Yeah,
said
for
it
that.
for I thought you meant for the
The idea is they go out there and they reset the headstones. So you've got payroll in places, but you're also putting payroll 16 in here, which gives them so many hours out there to fix these things. In the past, it had 8,000 last year. During the budget, it was increased to 16. So,
and he
really
used 600.
so I'm asking, do we take it back down to the 8? I mean, maintaining the cemeteries, I think, is a public service that, unfortunately, it's fallen on the shoulders of the towns and the villages. We don't want to walk away from that. I don't think that we can. So, the point is that should we cut back and just say this year we can't do the 16, we can do the 8, and do as many stones and do as much as 8,000. And
I would say that's a deal then because he's got his guys, 40 hours a week, 52 weeks. He's got to pull up their payroll. He's got to divvy it up into whatever bucket it's going to fall in.
so that he's the one who asked for the increase to 16 last year. And I'm saying we run the show in terms of money, and we're only going to give you the money, 8,000 for the labor.
Correct. Then he's going to have to take 8 and put it somewhere else.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I guess that's my point. If we're going to do that, he needs to know he's got $8,000 of payroll he's got to put
we can cover
in another budget somewhere.
And then I think we make that change and we cover that with him when we talk to him, because we're not done conversation with Dale.
Yeah.
We've made other cuts, and Dale certainly is going to have an opportunity to have this discussion with us.
Now they have, some of his crew goes out, and it's not all repairing stones, they're putting in foundations for new stones. Now that charge, if I'm not mistaken, gets passed on to the people.
That's correct.
Where does that money come back into our?
Don't know yet. That's something to look into in the revenue line.
And the other thing about the mowing service, I mean, we've got a reason to be there a couple times a week. And seeing what's happened in the past, we had the one service was terrible. This guy,
Yeah.
it's tip-top shape.
It
He
is.
does good.
It's very good what he does. Now, if you bring it back, here's just my passing thought.
Yeah.
If you bring it back to the town to have them mow, oh, let's see, we got, Barry needs a truck, we need this, oh, this week we can't, we're not gonna catch up to it for 10 days, 2 weeks. It's gonna turn to looking like crap again. Do we really want that? Cause the town, I don't wanna say the cemeteries are a showpiece, but on the other hand, for people that visit them, do the flowers, do the whatever, it is a showpiece to them.
Well, that's why I say it's, town has a responsibility to its residents to maintain these, and I agree with that.
And to me, it's money well spent to pull into the cemetery and see it beautiful where our daughter's laying.
Mm-hmm.
We went there when the grass was this high,
No, I'm not,
Yeah, no one questions
no one
that.
questions
Yeah.
that.
and they
I-
take care of both the cemeteries.
So
And-
if they're doing a good job, the only thing
Yeah.
I would say is I'll review the contract.
Yeah, we gotta look at
Right.
that.
And put it out for bid, that's all. I'm not sure bringing it back in-house is the right idea, but it's one of
Right.
those discussions we have to have.
Right.
Right.
My question is, isn't there an organization for like the cemeteries? Do they have funding? Do they have
I don't know.
and should they kick in a couple $1,000s a year?
I don't think there's really much of an organization left anymore for the
No,
cemetery.
I think
Quite
that's
often.
why he took it over.
Yeah.
That's why you got it, because they went under, they couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So they turned it over to the town.
Well, I think that's happened in almost all cemeteries. I mean, there's no money anymore unless, let's face it, in the Catholic cemeteries north of town, I don't know what's gonna happen with those. There's no money from the church. At some point, those are gonna face the same kind of issue. I think a lot of volunteers and such are doing work out in Sacred Heart and St. Mary now. So,
Now Shorty does our boxwood.
yes.
He does.
But that's,
Yeah, he
but
does
again,
a good job.
that falls on the village to maintain boxwood. There's very few, I mean, cemeteries for the most part used to be church operated.
Mhm.
Almost all of that's gone away. And so now it does fall on the villages and the towns. And I'm not talking at all about abandoning them. It's just
Right,
what is the
right.
cost-effective way to do it. I don't know that bringing it back in, as your point, is the best. I don't want to see it grow up and you know.
We were going there with scissors and a thing and cutting around our loved one's stones.
Yeah,
But the people we have now, they have been,
they do a good job.
they have done an excellent job. And I've even commented to them when I see them over there, what a wonderful job they are doing.
Okay.
And they're local too, yeah, they're local. They're Shelby people.
Yeah.
We're supporting our Shelby people, which makes.
Are
us
they
happy.
paying taxes to Shelby?
Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah.
There is,
Yep.
there,
Support local.
there is an account for sale of cemetery lots, so I would imagine
There's gotta
that,
be a revenue on that, right?
well, we've only sold one apparently this year.
What? No.
That's what it says.
Well, you've
Another-
had more funerals, but have you sold the plots?
Yes,
Okay, so
Selling
hold
the
on, it
plot
might be
versus the
going in
dirt.
this other account. 2190.
Another thing regarding that, we didn't revisit, the increase. It wasn't approved by the board or anything, for the cemetery, what's that?
Dale just added them.
Yeah, the increase, we didn't approve anything, so.
I think that should come up in the next board meeting.
I wonder
I
if,
think,
what they're getting charged now, that's what I'm wondering,
Well,
so.
part of the problem is last year we had some of the costs for cemetery over here and some of,
Yeah,
we need to take the cost of running the cemetery, figure out how many graves
Yeah.
we have left, and there should be a formula that says, here's what because what you collect is gonna be the money that you're using to maintain that cemetery.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
And
never,
if we're not collecting enough, so, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know that you'll ever collect enough. I mean,
no, but,
and it will never get put aside for that. That's, I think there needs to be some kind of reckoning with what the cost of doing
Yeah.
that is. But, a lot of the people that are buried there probably paid $5 for the plot,
Correct.
Yeah.
So you're never gonna put enough money up for 10 years from now to maintain it. It's gonna be an obligation to the town and the village forever if they wanna maintain them. But I think we should review, I agree.
It should
what
be
we're
based on the
charging,
cost, not just a
what
willy-nilly,
we think
like,
it, yeah.
grab a number.
I gotta imagine.
Or what other people are charging in theirs, because everybody's operating expenses are different.
I think most cemeteries though now are run either by a village or a town, and it wouldn't hurt to see what everybody else is charging. Because I don't know how you do it based on the number of plots that are left.
Well, I'm not saying that's all that it is, but it certainly should be, you have to look at, you can't keep charging 200 if it's costing you $50,000 or $60,000 a year to maintain it, and you're bringing in $200. I mean, that's,
You're never gonna collect the
Well, the
50,000.
problem is, where's that 200 going? That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
there should be a
well, there
revenue.
is a different line here
Yeah.
now that they're putting stuff
Should be a
to.
revenue.
Yeah.
Well, it's in an account called charges for cemetery versus sale of plots. So I'm not sure what the difference is between the two accounts, but that's,
Well, you sell it. I bought my plot, but I haven't paid yet for being buried.
well, some of
So
these looks,
there's two, you know, there's two different charges there.
mm, it's hard to tell because
Well, maybe a prepay, I don't know.
yeah, I got deposits in here, but these could be grave, these could be,
It's something to revisit. I would like to have that discussion sometime and actually talk about what we're charging for that. I agree. I know it was never properly presented to the board, and I think it needs to be discussed. Certainly, it's maintaining them as a service to our community, and I think probably even supplying the plots and that you're never going to pay for it. It's a service to the community too that they pay through their tax dollars. You just try to make it somewhat reasonable so at least you can pay for some of it, you know.
and we should understand what's in these two, because I got the same charges in two different accounts.
So what are the two?
There's one called sale of cemetery lots.
It's not a line item, is it?
Yep.
Give me the line.
2190, A2190. And then there's A2192 that says charges for cemetery services. But the same dollar amount is going into both accounts. So I don't, if that's the opening of a grave to bury somebody, but it was purchased at the same time as the site itself, I mean, I don't know what that is. So they have to just figure out like what's going on with that.
Okay.
But that's an
We'll have to
income
take a
line.
look at that.
Yeah.
I think the town actually digs graves now, I believe.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go to.
Sometimes Art Hill does.
He does sometimes too, yeah.
So then we have a big state retirement, and
Okay, so we moved off the cemeteries?
yep, we're on to state retirements, payroll benefits, state retirements, social security, workers' comp.
Yeah.
So the social security, we have to figure out how much salaries we have and then multiply it to get to get that amount. So those all have to be adjusted.
So we need,
The hospital and medical,
hang on, what do we need in order you said we need salary, so what?
we need the point ones, all the point ones in each fund, so that we can take that and multiply it times the 765 for Medicare and Social
But I mean,
Security.
so we need a current or anticipated.
Anticipated. So it's just going through here. Once we get all the point ones done, we can go add those all up and then multiply them times the Social Security rate, and we can fill that in. The workers' comp you're going to call the county on, that we talked about in the DA and DB fund. So
Yes.
it's the same call about workers' comp and unemployment, those two. Disability insurance is something we probably pay. I can find out where that comes from, I think. Yeah, we pay Shelter Point for that.
Yeah, I got this up here. Make sure I made a note on that.
Disability insurance, I believe, is based on males and females, and they calculate it quarterly and send you a bill on that. but we haven't seen another one, so I'll have to see if I can find that. And then the last one is medical insurance. We have to find out, right now, I believe the medical insurance comes through Tompkins Bank also.
Mhm.
So we need to know what the new rates are for 2026.
I can make that as part of the Tompkins call.
Mm-hmm. Because currently we have one person on, and then we have the retirees. But that, I think, stays with Blue Cross. They might know that at Tompkins. I don't know how that works. Every bill I've ever seen was from Blue Cross
Yeah.
for the retirees.
Okay.
But I would ask Tompkins if they handle that, or no, it might be a contractual thing that it has to stay that way. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the A fund. $35,976.
So we've done the DA, DB, the A. We've done the B. And the A. I think we're pretty well through the sheets. Is that correct?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay. A little work to be done between now and then.
So you want the views?
I
This
want-
is clearly rough because we didn't change a lot of the other stuff, but right now where we sit, we were 442 total last year. We're at 538.
442, what do you?
442 per thousand. We're about $4.42 per thousand, and we're at 538 right now
for
total.
Yeah, but you haven't taken out Dale's stuff yet, have you?
I did. We took all the stuff we've talked about. The only thing I haven't changed is Darlene's stuff here, and hers is going to increase, not decrease. So that right now that's as low as we're, because the retirement will increase, the insurances will increase, so that number's it's not going to go lower. It's going to go back up once we add in that other stuff.
So we didn't. We
haven't touched water yet.
Please, it's not.
I know, but we have to.
I know.
Yeah.
That was leaving the road stuff where so John had made some comment about having to cut more out of the road, but I don't know that we can cut enough out of the road to make much of a difference there, can we?
The only way you're gonna cut more out of the roads is by
Don't pay anything.
don't pave or emergency paving. He had a list here somewhere.
If we took the additional 50 out, John, that he told us, because he said you can cut it 100, and I said let's try 50 and see where we are. If we cut it an additional 50, we go to 511.
And what are we at now?
Right, with the 50 in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's 538.
Yeah. The breakdown of that is the inside village rate is going to go from 235 to 327, and the outside village rate is going to go from 207 to 212.
5 cents.
So you had a 92-cent increase for the village.
97?
92.
92.
Because we made some more cuts
We
from
made
the
some more
97.
changes. 92 for the
So let me
village and
just-
5 cents for
So
outside.
that you have that sitting there and we're playing, okay?
Mhm.
Move the snow plowing outside. What's that do to the two rates?
What's the snow plowing total? What's the dollar amount there? Got a DA, hold on.
That's without the use of a contingency.
That's right. That's without raiding the bank. Yeah. That's without going after the.
The village rate goes to 226.
From.
I don't remember what it was before. Last year, it was this current year, it's 235. It would go to 226. The outside would go from 207 to 380, a total of 607.
Yeah. I wish there was a way to split that snow plowing somehow.
Maybe we can. I don't,
Yeah.
I can ask the state, is there a way to, but
That's not really gonna affect it much, though, really, I don't think.
Well, it would. It made a big difference in the two tax rates when she went from one to the
Oh,
other.
yeah, but,
because,
Is it a shared cost, more of a shared cost? I'm just playing here. I'm trying to find a way. To go back to the village residents at this point and lay that kind of increase on them is it's 5 cents outside and it's
almost a dollar.
almost a dollar inside.
I just want to say on the record, which I know you already know, this is the danger of using fund balance to cover your operating expenses, which is what happened last year.
Oh, I know it is.
I know you know. I just want everybody else to know. The reason that we're struggling so much is because we used $1 million of fund balance to cover operating expenses, and now we don't have that. So now we're seeing the repercussions of what really should the taxes have been for the last several years. This is the real tax rate based on how we operate the town.
And there's no other place to get revenue. That's the problem.
And we haven't looked at revenues yet. We're assuming right now in this, we've assumed the revenues to be the same. Hopefully, our revenues aren't dropping.
Well, hopefully they're not dropping, but they certainly aren't going to increase enough to make up the difference.
No. No.
So our previous supervisor was running a pretty good scan on his budget then.
We believe that in the past, but you can make your own assumptions. You've heard the numbers. Nobody here is trying to load it. We're doing desperately everything we can to cut and contain services.
Right.
I don't think there's anybody sitting on this board that isn't trying hard to do the right thing by the taxpayers. Unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves today. And it really is between a rock and a hard spot, a real hard spot. So
I don't think there's anything wrong with using a portion of the reserve funds.
a portion, but we're talking about a lot in order to change this much.
$100,000, how much does that change it?
okay, why don't we give 100,000 from that and then cut another 100,000 off something? I think road repair is gonna have to, wait another year.
Here's part of the problem is, well, we could probably do that. I don't know what line to put that revenue into C because of that money that we do have in reserve. I don't know what fund it belongs to, and you have to put it in the right fund. But
There's a couple issues at play. One is public safety.
correct. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yep.
Right.
Not paving roads could be a public safety issue, and that you have to defer to Dale for that. And my point is that just because the past administration was fiscally irresponsible, it put us in a hole, doesn't mean that we can't use some of that reserve fund on the short term, 1 year at a time to get rid of the home. That's what it was intended. I don't think there's ever been a problem with having some of that money available to make a shortfall of $1 million. Yes, that's unconscionable. So they put us in a situation now, so you either raise the taxes or you cut costs or do both, or you do a combination of three things. Put some of the reserve fund in, cut costs, and raise taxes, some combination of them. That's the way I see it. I don't like paying taxes any more than anybody else, but.
Here's part of the issue with that is that we've got a budget, quite frankly, that with our current revenue stream is unsustainable. With all the cuts we've made, you're going to be facing exactly the same thing next year. I don't see how, you're gonna go back again next year, the revenue stream isn't gonna increase. You reduced your reserves again.
So-
And then your expenses have gone up like they're going to with retirements and all the rest of that, medical, all those things that go up. And we've cut this thing down pretty.
So if I take the 50, what did I tell you, 538 total?
538 per thousand.
Okay, so we can go down to 529, 522. If we take the $50,000 reserve out of highway. And part of the reason for doing that is if we have fund balance in the highway department, we don't need to build a reserve to use towards the truck because we already have the reserve. But we have to know where is that reserve. So I think it's a call to, I'll be happy to call Margaret tomorrow and ask her for the breakout of what that money is that's sitting in the money market. What fund does
I
it
asked
belong
her
to?
and I didn't get the sense that she knew.
Oh, I think she knew. I got the sense she did. Maybe I'm
Okay.
wrong. I could be wrong.
Please get a hold of her and
I
find out
saw
because
somewhere the numbers that were in those fund balances.
Yes, but not the money market.
the money market is the reserve, and but you dedicated
Yeah.
to certain funds. When I talked to her, she said the way I understood it, and I could be wrong, is she didn't know particularly what they were in. So, whatever you can get from her.
Yeah, I'll find out tomorrow.
And then, of course, we got to get access to the money. I'm hoping that, I got some information from Kathy about who I need to contact to get us. Because right now we can't access any of that yet.
Yeah. Well, it should only be an email with the resolution. It's just
I hope so. Yeah, so.
Well, getting back to the other, it comes down to a philosophical view as you pull the Band-Aid off quickly and have the pain up front, or you pull it off slowly. That's a decision.
Yes, because we're going to get an idea this year of whether we can operate at this level. And but I guess what the taxpayers have to understand is that is the cost of doing business here. We don't have any fluff in here. So the tax rates have been low artificially. So here's what the real tax rate is, and
Just, microcosm is that it's just a sheet that I put in there for the fire department. I took 30-some thousand out to put in there to lower the cost of the fire because they took it out of the reserve.
because they think there was reserve. We don't even know if there is, but that's not in here either yet. So the 522 that I'm down to now, if I remove that, the 522 or 538, yeah, well, if I take 50,000 out of the DA fund for the reserve, we go to 522. We don't have water yet, so that for the out of town people, right? For the out of village people,
Anybody that has.
right? There's still more to come because there's fire, lighting, and water that still has to.
Those aren't going to have the impact.
No, but they're.
They need to be. We need to go through them. Understand that. This is the budget. I can't.
Well, lighting it at $1.11.
Did it?
Yeah, last year. So, and that was lighting District 1 and District 2 at 95 cents last year. So it's $1.
Yeah.
It's not peanuts, but.
No. Turn off the lights.
And the air conditioner down.
Next year,
Turn it up.
Dale spent, this is through September 17th, $140,000 to Soup Corporation for materials for paving the roads. There's 140,000 right there if he doesn't do anything next year.
Which obviously that's also artificial to take care of we don't do it because they do have to get done. So it is an expense that has to happen every year. So you're right, John. If we can kind of cut it out so that we're not going here to here, but eventually that is the expense of running.
And I've asked Al if he'll give me a ride and take me around and show me the roads so that I can get an idea of just where we are with them. I mean, it's obvious to me when you go to Sanderson Road, shoulders, there aren't any. Somebody one of these days is going to go off and find an ambulance there. So, there is maintenance that has to happen, whether it's a big pay or just maintenance. Now, when I talked to Ed, he had a thought too, can we sell
some
Do we have
trucks.
too many trucks? That's a good question, I don't know. And I think there is in Dale's request, $7,500, he wanted to buy I don't know whether he's talking about a year or out of the current budget, to buy another stainless steel, um, salter, yes, thank you. He's got someplace used that they've got them used, that they're in good shape. He wants 7,500, but he's gonna have to come, it's in his budget, I think, coming out of there. I don't think he's asking for it for next year. I think he's trying to do it this year. So, I mean, that's something that's gonna have to come.
Having backups for backups is nice, but we just might not be in a position to do that if we have to.
Well, and that's, I think, Ed's point. I don't know how many trucks do we have that are on the road that are actually operating, and do we need all of them? We have 3 MEOs at this point. He's down one. Do we need a 4th MEO?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you get in the winter and somebody's sick, now you're down to 2 that are out working the trucks. Is that enough? And here's, the town has been used to a level of service. I don't know, are we approaching, me included, since I'm a resident, we've been used to a level of service that, can we maintain it? And we can address part of it this year, but we're going to be faced next year with exactly the same thing. And I don't see, as we go through this budget, a lot of fat that's hanging around there that we can take out. So I like John's idea. I think that it's going to be half a combination of something, that we're going to increase the taxes on the village. They're going to get an increase from the village next time. There's no doubt about that. They kept it pretty low this year. I don't think we're going to be the 2% that we thought we could get. That's disturbing.
God forbid chip funds go down too, then we're gonna be screwed.
I guess we're all going to be out on the
So
road.
can I see
chain
some,
gang.
and there, I don't know, I would like to understand the reason, but the village is getting 1.2 million in CHIPS money. Why such a difference between what they get and what we get?
Good point.
I did hear that from their clerk that they do get extra, but I thought, I could be wrong, but I thought she said like 400 and some thousand because they have touring roads. So it must have something to do with the tourist, yeah. But that's only 400, so that takes them down to 800. They have 26.
Still almost 4 times,
Yeah,
3 times what we get.
We have 75 miles of roads, they have 26.
I wonder what the other towns get.
I don't know, but that's certainly worth asking. Like, what, maybe Dale can find out, or is there some reason why they're getting?
Is there a formula, or is it due to political influence?
Honestly,
Is it just because they're a village as opposed to a town? I don't, they're.
No, but my point is, can you exert pressure on politicians to get more money, or is it a formula that's based on roads and other things?
Yeah, I had no idea.
I think the main thing is, the state's running out of money and the federal government's running out of money, so
Yeah.
it's gonna go right down to the towns.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
So the town's gonna have to find some other way to operate. Something's gotta be changed.
The ships don't actually have to be used for road maintenance.
No.
For equipment and everything, that's why I'm wondering if, being the town only had 26 miles to maintain, if that's what they're doing, and upgrading all their equipment.
Well,
When they did Park Avenue, my understanding is the town didn't pay for that, pay for the material and some. I think if they touched on that.
oh, could be.
So the story goes.
Yeah.
No, he
What's the
didn't.
CHIPS?
It's hard to believe that he did that.
What did he say?
That Roger paid for the paving of, that's not legal. I don't think you could.
He paid for a portion.
He paid for a portion?
You did?
I'm not gonna tell you how I know, but I know.
I'm surprised.
Me too.
All right.
Okay, so wait a minute, CHIPS. Barry looks like they budget for CHIPS, 112, 113,
And we're getting what,
40. That's what we put in.
So that's our road maintenance money.
Well, they have income of 412,839, but they have expenses, unless I'm missing some, they have expenses of 112, but they're saying CHIP's income is 412 they have in their 2025 budget.
412,000.
839, yeah.
For chips.
Why are we getting so little?
Because
They
they got
do
a
have
lot-
more roads
They
than
got
we
a lot
do.
more miles of road.
They do have, yeah, they have like
Oh, yeah.
20.
I wrote that down
miles
someplace. I looked at that. It's
They
Yeah,
have 96 miles or something like that to our 77.
that's still almost, that's a lot more money though per mile.
But so I guess I'd like to understand why the village would get so much, or Barry, if that is what they're getting versus what
I
we're
got an
getting.
idea. We'll tell the state we're not gonna plow state roads anymore unless they give us more money.
Well, I had no idea that we could do that.
What?
Not plow the state roads.
Really?
Dale thinks it's too late to pull the
Correct,
trigger
this year,
this
but
year.
it is something we should keep in mind next year. And he also said that, maybe I don't want to misquote, but I thought he said that we don't get reimbursed completely. Like, it does cost us some money
I'm
to do
sure it
that.
does.
So if that's the case, and we're kind of, I hate to say losing money on it, give them back
I
next
think
year.
it's a significant amount of loss on it.
Yeah, then we should give them back.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's too late. It's unfortunate we didn't know. We could have done it this year, but he did check with the guy, and it was too late.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So how long, what's the process, John?
I'll ask Dale. I
Okay.
don't know. I'll ask Dale that, and I'll ask Dale what the formula is for chips, and if he doesn't know,
If he can find out, maybe,
I'll
yeah.
call them up and find out.
Well, at the conference he was at this week, they did talk about chips, so maybe he got some
I
information
asked him
on it.
about that.
Yeah.
I asked him, what are your colleagues saying about the funding and everything? And he didn't give me a very satisfying answer. I'll ask him when I spend more
Okay.
time with him.
Okay. Yeah, but I'd be curious to know, like, what's the process to get rid of the state roads? Because if that can save us, $100,000, that's huge.
Yeah.
overtime and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
And
OT,
salt, and salt.
Salt.
And, yep. And possibly an MEO.
Well,
Is
that's,
it okay to ask a question?
Yep.
I don't know if the board has access to this, but in theory, what's happening is there's a certain amount of work, like say 40 hours a week that's planned for everybody that's working in the highway department, right? And then, just like with the cemetery, you could say, oh, well, there's X number of hours that should be deducted from the work that they're gonna do during the year. And so is it possible for you guys to track and see, oh, this is the amount of work we've actually planned on doing for the year, because this is how we allocate. Is that information you guys have access to? And, or should you have access to?
Yeah, we should.
And the second question is, I didn't totally understand when he was talking about there's planned payment for the people for doing overtime for plowing. And why? One of the questions I had was, are you allowed, or is he allowed, to hire people that don't have to go into overtime to work also on the plows? So you employ the people to do their full hours of work, and there's more work to be done. Well, let's see, pay this person $20 an hour, or this person $60 an hour. Who should be doing the plowing after that? So
that's a good question. I think the concern will be the liability, number one. You got to find people that have the CDL, and they're in
And the
demand.
union contract.
And then the
Right,
union
make them a
contract.
but we're desperate, right? So I'm throwing desperate ideas at you.
No, we appreciate
Nothing
it.
wrong with looking at it that way.
Mhm.
I think I'd like to know a little bit more
What I would-
about how the hours are distributed.
Exactly.
Like,
Well, what I would like to know is if in the winter, mostly what they're doing is plowing, and they get called in at 4, can we split their time? Can they work 4 to 8 in the morning, and then the snow stops, they go home? If we think we're having more snow and they come back and work, can you do that? Or do you have to, once they're called in, they have to stay the whole day, and now
They have to work for 4 hours is the way
Yes,
it typically
yes,
works.
but if
I
they
don't know.
did their 4 hours and then
went
and then
home.
we went home and came back later to plow again 4 hour, I don't know if we could do that, but managing the village is running into this problem with the fire department and the police department, how to manage the overtime, and is there a way to structure work schedules to,
I think
Part of the problem is, I think, right or wrong, it's part of their livelihood that they've
built in the overtime.
They
It's the OT.
expect it every year. So if they're gonna take a major hit in their income, that could cause a problem.
That I
Right
completely.
or wrong, I'm not
I
justifying.
agree with you, but here's the problem, well, I say here, the concern I have is that overtime affects their benefits and the state retirement. The state retirement affects the taxpayers, and I would venture to say a very good portion of taxpayers are not on state pensions. So they're not getting that extra income
Yeah.
to start with, so yet you're asking them to pay for an increase in somebody's pension for 30 or 40 years.
You might wanna throw the state police and other people in.
Oh, I agree with you.
category,
Don't,
too.
yeah, I'm right there.
That's a whole
Yep.
systemic problem that we
Yes.
can't solve.
Yes, and I'm just saying that I think we have to be
I think we
cautious
should
of the
look at
fact
the
that we have
contract.
taxpayers that
Let's
don't
take a
have
look
all
at
the
the
same
union
benefits.
contract and see if we're, yes.
Can I just say something when you start talking about these roads, or whether it's state roads or not? Just to bring to your attention, when the town of Shelby, we had a project, there were 85 sites throughout the United States. It came down through New York State, it wound up being 12, 10, whatever, wound up 2 sites in New York State. We had to justify how we would take care of 31, 31A, and 63, and we had to get Ed from the legislature to come in and actually talk to the company. And that was a Fortune 500 company. He said, before we consider this. So we wound up second on that. So it's very important as you're looking at this road situation, if you change something, realize what you might be changing.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a justification.
But I don't think the change is permanent. We can take the state, and I could be wrong, but it sounded to me like Dale checks with the state every year, and they say, are you plowing this year or aren't you? So if we don't have, we could try it maybe for a year and see how it goes. How does the state take care of
Come
it?
out and do it,
They'd have, right, the state would come in to do it.
or they could just pay us more.
And maybe you'll
Or-
get more
or
money
maybe,
from them,
yes,
but
if
I'm
you-
saying
yes.
the very, I never thought we'd ever have to do that.
Yeah.
We had to really push that because of the snow.
Sure, I can
Or their
understand.
perception.
Sure. Well, it's real sometimes.
Well, it is, and you've got trucks coming out of that ethanol facility all the time in the winter, so.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay, let's, before we wrap up the meeting, let's talk about where we go next steps. We've been through this, got some changes to make, certainly a whole passel of phone calls to make to get more information. We haven't, you're right, we haven't touched water yet, and the special districts, lighting and fire. So what do you want to do? We got a meeting on Monday scheduled. That meeting follows a executive session, also passing a resolution or passing the local law. So what do we do about the next steps? I'm looking to you because you have to be there. It's part of the job. When do you want to meet next? You want to leave it up to Monday? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to get some of these phone calls and get the information. When do we meet next? And when do we have to have a budget to the clerk? It's
The
October
30th.
5th.
No,
The 30th?
September 30th, you have to turn a budget over to the clerk. She has until October 5th to turn it over to the board.
But you can make changes until.
Correct.
November.
November, yes, like 7th or something
Yeah.
like that, yes.
But we don't have do we have almost enough information, don't we? Not yet.
To turn it over? Well, I think we have to put water in. You have to have a complete budget. We have to have water.
But as the budget sits now, it sits with that increase because we haven't taken anything out of the reserve fund or made other changes to the highway. So what you're turning over is gonna have that
So here's what,
tax increase.
okay, I'm emailing everybody right now what we did.
It's a preliminary budget is my understanding, and right, so.
So we do that because at that point, it goes public, right? The budget at that point? when
I
we
get
turn
the
it-
tentative budget
Yes,
and I give it to you guys at a special meeting. It has to
okay.
be at a special meeting, October 5th. And then after that, then I forget how long it is before you do the preliminary budget.
And when does it go public, is my question.
Once it's adopted, when you adopt preliminary budget, then it becomes,
Preliminary then becomes available to the public, then we have to have a public hearing on it.
So we've got some time. We can get a budget to her on the
Correct.
30th.
I just sent
Still
everybody
have time.
tonight's revision.
And still have time to make the revisions that we know we're gonna have to make.
Mhm.
So now the next question is, when do we get into the water so we can attach that?
Uh-oh. So we have an email from LGSS. We don't have the information that is not already on location at the town.
So they said it's here then.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be in them files or else
Well,
they got rid of it. They shredded them, whatever.
you don't.
Who knows?
I wonder if they sent it an email. I do have 3,000 emails that I can go back through that I've recovered.
Jim.
When would that have been turned into us? April?
Mm,
Because they didn't finish until when?
it was March, I think, or maybe April.
So let me go look, spend it's a lot of time, go through some emails and see if I can find, if they sent that via email. I was able to find everything he thought he deleted, or at least most of it, I think. So let's see if that's in there, and if it is, you know, let me see if I can find something from LGSS. Now, Darlene, where else would it have gone?
I never saw it. So it's got, if it's here, it would be probably on the email, I imagine.
Because it's probably an electronic, it was probably PDFs.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So why don't you call them up and ask them for another copy?
Well, they said that they've sent it and they don't have it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay, I'll have to check with Kathy, but I am relatively sure that when I asked for that information, she responded to Scott, so it should be in your email somewhere. There was LGSS responded to Scott and Kathy stating that there was a shared drive, ShareLink or some some shared drive that the accounting firms use with their clients where they put documents, and she said everything Linda needs and is asking for is in that drive. You
Okay.
can go. So why she's now saying, and what we're asking for is access to that drive. Now she's saying there is no drive. So let me talk to Kathy tomorrow and find out, because I
We
can't.
would have a rough idea when they sent it to you, right?
Well, we know when they finish. It's just I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
I found other things in there that I've been slowly going through when I have 5 minutes at a time. Go through and I'm able to save and then, but you got to understand that there's no documents saved. There's categories in the email that they're all.
I see.
So, and I haven't even looked at the other computer across the way. It was
So
so let's, at this point, should we call a meeting
Monday.
So we'll meet Monday.
We'll meet Monday. I'd like to call motion to end the meeting tonight. I get a motion to call this meeting
So
close.
Second.
Want a roll call there,
Oh, I'm
please,
sorry.
Darlene?
I'm sorry. Linda,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
and Ed.
Yes.
So you should look in your email somewhere around the end of May.
Okay.
I sent Tina an email in May 28th, asking for copies of all the 2024 internal statements, ledgers, detailed reports, budget to actual, all above. She responded, not to me, but to Scott and Kathy, and told them everything was in this repository that they could go get. So somewhere around the very end of May or early June, you should see something in there from Tina.
So-
Tina
Yeah, I know, I've seen it.
Denigro.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Darlene, are you turned us off?
Oh, just, we got,
The meeting isn't adjourned.
Oh, we
We've
did.
gotta adjourn it.
Oh, so I adjourn the meeting. Thank you. We had a vote. Thank you.
we just run anything, yeah.
Oh.
Controlled it in for a second.